Good evening, everybody, and welcome to A-Top Mark. Hello, how are we all? Hope you're well. Welcome to the first ever Raw of 2022, and also the first ever Raw after day one. Of course, Saturday night, some big things happened leading into tonight's show. We'll be running through in just a moment. And also, welcome to the first ever Raw watch-along on this channel. Hello. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, all that good stuff. I can see a couple people in chat already. Andromeda G, Sharky, big old Reese. Good to see you all. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all doing good. And I'm intrigued to see how tonight plays out. There's a couple of things announced for the show so far. WWE tend to just say live on air what happens most of the time, but there's a couple of things announced for the show so far, and we'll be running through them in just a moment because, to be honest with you, there's one or two things I'm very intrigued in. But first of all, I forgot to bring him back. He should be here already, and I forgot. My friend and yours, Danny DeVito. War man. Here he is. As per usual, I forgot to put him back in his rightful place. I had to put him down on the floor because, if I'm being honest with you, my girlfriend finds it quite creepy, Heater. It was her present. She liked it, but it was one of those ones where the fact that she walks into the room, she wakes up way earlier than I do, and all of a sudden she sees a random figure in the living room. It's not her favourite thing in the world, so I had to bring him back. But he's here now. Good to see you, Wally. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're all good. Hope things are all good with you. I haven't spoken to you in person in a while, so hope you're well, bro. Hope you're well. Anyway, so let's get to it. Day one happened on Saturday night, which was, of course, WWE's first pay-per-view of the year, although they're calling them premium live events now. Your guess is as good as mine. But that happened on Saturday night, and there was a big old chunk of controversy because Roman Reigns was set to headline defending his Universal Championship to Brock Lesnar. However, he had to pull out of the event after he caught the old Rona. So they ended up putting Brock, inserting him straight into the WWE Championship match, which at that point was a fatal 4-way, becoming a fatal 5-way. Am I right in saying this is on USA Network and not PPV? Yes, you are 100% correct. This is on the USA Network in about 9 minutes. It starts 8 minutes. And if you're in the UK, it's on BT Sport 1. And if you are like other people, definitely not me, it's on certain websites on the internet. But yeah, so he ended up getting inserted into the WWE Championship match, which then became a fatal 5-way where Big E was defending against Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Bobby Lashley. And Brock Lesnar ended up winning, which is something I wasn't quite expected. It's one of those things where it's such a big guy getting in there that obviously you have to sort of think about it a bit. You have to be like, well, he's got a chance of winning. He's Brock freaking Lesnar. But all of the things we're talking about, this feud with Roman, how that's going to go for longer. WWE wants it to go for longer. And so the idea of Brock just getting dropped into it and then all of a sudden winning it and potentially leaving this Roman Reigns thing just to the side was kind of wild. And yet the man who looks like he dresses like a farmer now, Brock Lesnar, who, listen, I'm not going to tell him how to dress. He's Brock Lesnar. I'm not telling him. He ends up winning the whole thing, and all of a sudden it throws everything into disarray. What does it mean? We'll find out. We know he's going to be here tonight. He supposedly, I don't know if he's starting the show, the way it's said on the WWE website suggests he's starting, but he knows he's going to be there. We'll at least find out some more information on where it's going, because at this point, I have no idea. I mean, they're going to do Roman versus Brock again, but when will it be? Ramit says Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, and The Miz together seen in Zack Ryder and Chelsea's marriage party. Doesn't surprise me. Are they getting married? Was that this week? I thought that, to be honest, I only thought they were married. I did not know that. I thought they were already married. Maybe not. I know Dolph Ziggler is one of the other people wrestling tonight. He's facing Damian Priest for the United States Championship. Yeah, we'll see that in a minute. Reese just popping in to say hi. Charlie, I'll pop in again later if you're still alive. No worries, bro. Appreciate you for coming. Love you very much. I seen your messages. I will get back to them. I saw you messaged me, and I will get back to you. I'm just an idiot and I forget stuff. But I'll message you in a bit. Thank you for coming. I haven't watched wrestling in years. It's all still real, right? Yeah, 100%. Listen, show me 5 ways in which it's fake, and then maybe I'll talk to you. It's real as it comes, Wally. It's real as it comes. Speaking of Dolph Ziggler, he's wrestling tonight. He is facing, almost killed Danny there. Danny, steady yourself, mate. Steady yourself. Pace yourself. It's a long night. He is facing Damian Priest. He's challenging Damian Priest for the United States title. Whether the big boy Robert Roode will be with him or not, we'll find out. But that's a match that's probably going to be pretty good. I mean, they're two very good wrestlers. You put them together, that works, right? That works. That just makes sense. And then finally, the last thing announced for tonight's show is a fatal four-way match. The fatal four-way that was meant to happen on Sunday. Big E versus Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins will be tonight to decide who is the number one contender to now Brock Lesnar's WWE champion. I hope it's Big E. I know it won't be. I feel like they did my guy dirty. I feel like they did my guy very dirty, and it should be him. It's not going to be, but it should be. Anyway, so those are the things we know are definitely happening tonight. We suspect Becky Lynch will rock up and have a championship celebration after she retained against Liv Morgan at the pay-per-view at day one as well. But outside of that, we don't really know what else happens. It's typical WWE. They don't tend to announce things too soon ahead of time, if we're being honest. They tend to just let it happen on the show. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it rolls out. But the stuff that's been announced, exciting stuff. Again, I just need to know where this Brock Lesnar thing is going, because I haven't the foggiest. I'll of course be letting you know throughout the show when bells are happening, so if you can figure out how far behind I am than you, I'll probably figure out at some point how to do a timer, maybe like we do on the old football watch-alongs. That makes sense to try and sort of help you out, but I don't know. We'll figure all that out later on down the line. We've got plenty of watch-alongs to figure that out on. Similarly, I should say this: subscribe if you haven't already, like the video because that super helps, because I've got tons of these planned, right? I'm planning at the moment, at least, for this week, at least, I'm doing one on Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite. That is on the UK, it's on ITV and on Fight TV, and if you're in America, that will be on TBS. That's their first ever show on TBS, so I'll be doing that on Wednesday night. Then on Friday night, I'll be doing SmackDown, which is on Fox, followed by AEW Rampage straight after that, which is on TNT. So that's all happening this week alone. Those are the watch-alongs that are planned this week alone. And we've got videos, little bits, plans in between as well. And I've got some other stuff, I've been talking to some people about doing some other stuff in between as well. So there's a lot of things coming, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell and all that good stuff so you don't miss anything. Raw is kicking off in about 3.5 minutes. We're currently on my screen at least getting a rerun of SmackDown, highlights of SmackDown. We're seeing Pat McAfee. Being Pat McAfee, I flipping love the guy. I can't lie to you, former NFL dude. I don't know what he did. I don't know what position he played. He might have threw balls or kicked balls or did something with balls. But he is the best broadcast person in WWE by a significant distance. He's excellent. He's so great. He's just so great. And him and Becky Lynch are just running around doing nonsense on my screen until the next two minutes time, where we will be getting a cheeky bit of Monday Night Raw. Anyway, so I'm going to lob a poll in chat. Who will be number one? I've misspelled all of that. Who will be number one? Let's do a hash. Let's just make that easier. Number one contender. And will it be Big E? Will it be Seth Rollins? Will it be Kevin Owens? Or will it be Robert Lashley himself, Bobby Lashley? That is, of course, the big event. That's a big match tonight. Amount so far, at least, the number one contenders match. Let's see what the people are thinking. It's going to be up for the entire show until that match kicks off, which I suppose will be the main event. My guess would be. So feel free to get involved in that. On the USA Network at the end of Karate Kid 2. Now, this is fighting. Love that. I've never actually seen either of the Karate Kid films. I feel like that's probably a disgraceful thing to say. But I have never actually seen either of the Karate Kid films somehow. Don't know how, but I haven't. I feel like that's bad, though. I want to see the first one at least. It's just poor. It's just poor for me, if we're being honest. It's just poor for me. We're getting an ad break on BT Sports. That's exciting. So yeah, Wally, one of the things you might be interested in to some extent is that I spoke very briefly to Lee about me and Lee doing a video together about 80s Texas wrestling. So that's going to be a thing. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it or when it's going to happen or everything else, but I kind of want to do it. I've no idea what it would look like yet, but I did speak to Lee about this months ago, and Lee was 100% down. So that might be coming up. Clips, good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're all good. Yeah. It's depressing people can see me, but it is what it is. Also, my camera is weirdly color corrected today. It just doesn't look right at all. I don't know why. It looked fine 20 minutes ago, and now it's gone weird. I don't know. But thank you for coming, Clips. I appreciate it. I was going to message you earlier about thumbnails. I was going to message you about thumbnails earlier, because I've been going clickbaity on the Hammers Chat thumbnails after the conversation we had. Well, not just one or two. Two of them specifically, and they've both done better than the rest. I was going to message you and be like, it's just weird, I can't figure it out. But now I've said it out loud to you. Mainly because I need to fill airtime. We'll, of course, be keeping track of all of the predictions I make. I got 5-1. Was it 5-1? No, 5-1 at the pay-per-view. The only one I got wrong was the main event, because I just did not think Brock Lesnar was going to win. The rest of them, no, I got bang on. And so tonight we'll be keeping track of that. Out of the 2 announced matches, for example, I suspect it will be Damian Priest, and I suspect it will be Bobby Lashley. But we'll see. I'll make my decisions at the time. But yeah, I'm quite proud of the 5-1. So I just needed to point that out now. Just so you know that you're at least watching some form of genius level intellect. Mega mind. Do you know what I mean? Put me on the mastermind chair, but my specialist subject would be stuff happening in wrestling, I guess. Like in the future, not at the time. I don't know. Texas Wrestling on that would be epic. That's the idea. We'll see. Again, I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I was going to message Lee tonight and just be like, hey, if you actually want to do this, then I'm down. The Karate Kid just beat up the bad guy, not the... Bro! I just said I hadn't seen it, bruv. I mean, you'd suspect I could predict that kind of thing, given what I was previously saying about genius level intellect, but that is only specifically in wrestling and not in films. I don't know, man. Do I even want to watch it now? Who knows? So the show is now underway. Welcome everybody to WWE RAW. I need to figure out some way of putting that on the screen. And we are getting the intro package, talking about the 5-way, talking about Brock Lesnar turning up and getting his big old win. Not a shock. But we did think he was probably going to be the guy who would start tonight, coming out first and having a little shout. We'll see. Will Paul Heyman be with him? It's another question we could be asking. Will he have his advocate back, or will it just be Brock? Brock did give his own promo at the event, because maybe Paul would have been Roman. I don't know. We see what happens, I guess. But we're seeing. It was a great match, to be fair. There's sometimes WWE, especially when it's Brock Lesnar, right? Just throw everything at a match. They just go absolutely bananas. I think it was only like 8 minutes long, which for a title match on a main event of a pay-per-view is very short. You're usually thinking at least 20. But here's an 8-minute sprint with 5 people just doing all of their finishes all the time. Just bang, 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 bang. You're getting F5s all over the place, suplexes. You're getting Big E hitting slams on people. It was just madness. Big ending. It was a great match. It was a really good match, to be fair. It went about 18,000 miles an hour, but it was a banger. It's just depressing that my boy got done over. Speaking of my boy, right, Tom, how are you? Hello, how are you? I hope you're well. Hope you're good. I was just talking about how much they did my boy Big E dirty, which I've basically been talking about non-stop to my girlfriend for about 2 days now, because they did. He got done dirty. I'm just angry. Wow, these guys are a lot bigger than the wrestlers in the 80s. I don't know if the thing is, they might look bigger because some of them are smaller, if you see what I'm saying. Like Lashley and Lesnar are just gargantuan men. Like Brock Lesnar, I think is like 6'5", but he's just like 8,000 pounds of muscle. but like when you look back at like Hogan or whatever, when you see like wrestlers from today standing next to Hulk Hogan, it's hilarious how much bigger he is than them. He is just a towering individual. It's concerning. It's concerning to some extent. I mean, we know why steroids. He went on trial for it, but you know what I mean. I was fumed. Don't understand. Would want to keep going back to Brock, bro. Brock was gonna face Roman, But then Roman got COVID, so he couldn't do it. So they put him in this one. But like they're all saying, oh, we want WWE and Vince. They're desperate to have Brock versus Roman some more. And I'm like, but now he's all over the I don't know. Fuming. But they're running through the card at the moment. They're talking about that fatal 4-way, probably main event. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens versus Big E versus Bobby Lashley for the #1 contendership. Get your votes in. And subscribe and like and all that good stuff. But get your votes in for who you think's going to win that. Because whoever does that faces Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. Which probably means that Roman versus Brock will happen at Mania. We suspect, anyway. Next match they're talking about is, of course, the United States Championship match between Damian Priest defending against Dolph Ziggler, who'll be with his boy, Robert Roode. Bobby Roode himself, the glorious one. For the United States Championship, Priest can lose the title via DQ. We're also getting a Women's Tag Team Championship match where Rhea and Nikki ASH are going to be going up against the current champions, that being Zelina Vega and Carmella. It just gets too similar. Having Big E made it just a breath of fresh air, proper boy. I know, he's just a lovely man as well. He's just a great dude. I don't know, it's a disgrace. AJ Styles will be facing his former tag team partner, Omos, who he turned on a couple of weeks ago. Omos, Wally, you want to look about big men? This Omos geezer used to be a basketball player. He's like 7 foot something legit. He's not 7 foot something like The Undertaker used to be or whatever, where he was actually like 6'8". No, he's like 7 foot legit. He's huge. He's massive. And standing next to AJ Styles, he looks even bigger. It's ridiculous, but still. But you'll see, because he's a gargantuan individual. If you watch that long, which I don't suspect. Just to be fair, if you don't, you don't. The lights go out, and as they come up, we are greeted by a very smug-looking Paul Heyman, who is back once again with a champion as an advocate. Roman Reigns obviously turned on him a couple of weeks ago. That was leading up to the feud with Brock. But now Brock's champion again. He's back with Brock. He gets to once again talk about his now 6-time WWE Championship candidate that he advocates for. What a man. He's like the slimiest looking geezer you've ever seen in your life, Paul Heyman. I love him. Wait, we're in a wrestle now? I know, man. They wrestle. They do flips and that. It's mad. And we are getting him introducing Big Brock, and out he comes first to start the show in what can only be described as an unplanned sequence of events. Brock Lesnar's got such a banging theme song. He just always has and always will. Even if he does dress like a farmer now, which I will keep saying until he stops, because I feel like someone needs to tell him, I know you are a farmer, but stop dressing like one. Again, I know you are one. I know that's what you do in your spare time when you're not training. You're just on your farm, having a grand old time. I understand that. I get that. But you don't have to dress like one as well. And this is just it's just very farmery. You know, it also has more orange makeup than certain Express. Yeah, well, his fake tan has always been a bit wild. Like, over the last, 5 years, it's got significantly more orange. It's very impressive. I would not want to see below that collar. I suspect the colour change would be... Let's go with noticeable. I would say probably horrendous, but, as well as... It's weird, he's got quite... We're going back to what Brock's wearing, by the way. We're going back to what Brock's wearing. He's got the sort of belt which has his logo on it, which has always looked cool. Fair enough, we can move with that. Now he's just lobbing stairs about. Can you just calm down for a second, please? He's lobbing stairs around. He's just a dangerous individual. His jeans, though, that he's got on. I don't know if they're jeans or if they're trousers. He's got these cargo pants on. That, with any other shirt, would look quite good. But he just does disgracefully look like a farmer. But it would look good in any other context. Even if you just took the plaid off, mate. Still. Brock starting the show, standing atop of some stairs in the ring. As if he wouldn't be big enough in the ring anyway, because he is, again, a huge man. No, he has to stand also on some stairs. Brock on the mic is fun. He's a maniac, but I love him. He says before he gets started tonight, he wants to give a big shout out to Roman Reigns. The crowd reaction is what you would expect. He's probably sat at home, tuned in to the new WWE Heavyweight Champion, the real champion, which is set. You can't tell me when they start saying words like the real champion, that's not setting up for a champion versus champion match. Maybe even a unification match at Mania. And it says get well soon with a little cheeky. Because again, he's Brock Lesnar. He can do what he wants. It's so Bailey going to be champion versus champion at Mania, isn't it? It really is. Like that's been the report since Saturday night when it happened. And that seemed to be, that's what I said after the stream. When at the end of the stream, the watch along on Saturday night, I did say it felt that way, but I thought it would happen at Rumble. If he's got an opponent for Rumble coming up tonight, which he does, then it has to happen at Mania. And he's just setting it up so Bailey. He asks South Carolina where they are tonight to acknowledge him before then acknowledging Paul Heyman for being basically his mate. You love to see a good friendship. You love to see a good friendship, don't you, really? He's very orange today. He's very interesting. He's just very orange. Try to just turn the volume up. You're running over what happened at the pay-per-view on Saturday night. Talking about how Paul Heyman was the one who petitioned to get Brock in the match. I'll be interested to see if they keep him as a face or a heel. Is he going to be good or is he going to be bad after this? Because it's naturally bad. Like, naturally what he's doing is bad. But if he's going up against Roman, especially if Bobby Lashley is going to be the challenger, then he has to be a good guy. Paul recaps what's happening with the Fatal 4-Way, saying that the original one is happening tonight and Brock will defend at Rumble against the winner. I mean, it's quite smart in that sense that now they can just do the match they were originally going to do last night tonight and it just be a big thing. End the show with whoever wins having a stare down with Lesnar. That's the last time you see Lesnar before the go home show for Royal Rumble in a couple of weeks. That makes sense. That makes sense. Paul's going through the candidates. He's talking about how Rollins and Kevin Owens were teaming up together. That was during the match. They were going after Lashley together. They were going after Lesnar together before Brock Lesnar decided to just, I'm enough. I've had enough of this. I'm F5 in everyone. Giving the people a cheeky recap. Brock rehabbing the championship does put it in a weird perspective where you have to ask yourself who realistically can beat him. Because again, obviously Roman Reigns is the guy who they want it to be again. They would obviously want to see Roman go after him again and beat him again and everything else. That makes sense, right? But outside of that, if it isn't going to be that, who else could it be? Lashley, I guess? Paul says, Paul says 1 week without him as his special counsel and Roman Reigns has already got COVID. And then says, you might be able to get over Rona, but karma can be a real bitch. It's not a bad line. He's talking about Bobby Lashley again now. And to be honest with you, Bobby Lashley's... It's the one most people have wanted to see. When Bobby came back to WWE, obviously Brock had disappeared for years and went and became UFC heavyweight champion. Bobby Lashley equally, he went and did independent wrestling. He turned up at Impact and was brilliant there and everything else. But he did Bellator. He was a Bellator champion. I think I want to say he was champion, but he obviously did incredibly well in MMA as well. And he was the new Brock Lesnar at one point in WWE before he left. So when he came back, everyone went, oh, Lashley versus Lesnar, which would be an incredibly fun match to watch. If, again, you're having one of these Brock Lesnar just finisher matches, that would be a banger. That would be a banger. Paul Heyman talking about how Bobby Lashley did indeed have Brock in the Hurt Lock last night. And it didn't look like he was getting out before Big E managed to make the save. Again, they're talking up Bobby as a big challenger here. Paul Heyman's such a good talker. Crowd aren't super into it, but he is a very good talker. Says it's different if you go one-on-one with Lesnar. Says he'll go down as just another Brock Lesnar wannabe. Just getting not wrong. And now they're talking about the guy who's done dirty, Big E, bruv. Deserves more respect. What man? He's a good dude. He's on the Breakfast Club. What man? He says that Paul and Brock both respect Big E immensely. He's a true champion and a true testament. A good dude for WWE. And says it would be an honor to face him at Royal Rumble, but it would also be an ending. It would be over. It would still be the same. The reigning defending WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman, man, he's just so good on the mic. If there's one guy, when everything goes wrong, and you need someone to just get over what's going on, Paul Heyman. Just put him out in there in front of everyone and it'll happen. What a man. What a man. Corey putting over them being back together says, this is Brock's world, we're just living in it. Be interesting to see. Be interested to see how that ends up playing out. We cut backstage to Randy Orton, who again, and I said this on Saturday enough times, and I'll say it again, has terror. That mustache is so horrendous. It's just not okay. It's just not okay, that mustache. He shouldn't be allowed to have it. I don't like it. I think it's wrong. But up next, we are seeing the tag team champions RK Bro, Randy Orton, and Riddle take on the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, and Otis. Another big lad, Wally. If you're still there, you'll love this guy. He's very much an 80s pro wrestler, is our boy Otis. He's very much an 80s pro wrestler when you look at him. Before getting a cheeky advert for the Royal Rumble, which is one of the best events of the year. Royal Rumble, is it my favourite WWE pay-per-view? It probably is, more than Mania. I love WrestleMania, and obviously you get amazing matches, and there's so much, but it's also long, and it drags on a lot of the time, and obviously the spectacle is incredible. But Rumble, man, the Rumbles, the damn straight. We'll be doing a watch along for that. I'll tell you that again. They've got that premium live event branding on it, but we'll be we will be doing a watch along for the Royal Rumble, because that's going to be hype AF. Hype AF. Everyone I know who's sort of a vague wrestling fan, who watches it but not like religiously like I do, like an idiot. They'll be like, watch 1 or 2 events a year. They'll watch Mania, but more importantly, they will watch the Royal Rumble. And that's why, because it bangs. And now we're on the road to the Royal Rumble. It's all good times. It's all good times. It's all good times. It's all good times. Paul Heyman putting over Brock, putting over the main event there, doing good big plays. Again, if you want one guy to just put everything over, you give Paul Heyman the shout. He's an incredible on the mic, and he did it well. He did it well. He did it well. Ran down everyone, gave them their dues, and then just said, yeah, but Brock's better. Lashley's the interesting one. Lashley's the one I think will happen. But again, if Big E wins, he won't. But if he were, I would be very happy, because he's just a beautiful man. He's just a beautiful man. Right, let's get this up. Let's RK Bro versus who was it? It was Alpha Academy. The Alpha Akka. Let's just go Alpha Akka. No. Alpha Academy. Academy? Is that how you spell Academy? I don't know. I should know that, but I don't. I'm an idiot. There we go. We'll just do that. I've not watched WWE properly since 2016. I'm honestly so hyped. It's one of those things. Mark Henry, of course, no longer here. He's doing bits on the pitch and also in AEW, I guess. But yeah, Mark Henry no longer here. But there's always something. There's always, as much as I've hated it at times, watching it at times, especially the last couple of years, there's been some times where I'm just like, man, it's difficult. It's difficult. They at least like have one thing going on that's always like, that's intriguing. And the Brock Lesnar thing, if he faces Big E again, then it's my boy Big E, who I love. If it's Lashley, it's the thing everyone would love to see, just 2 big meaty men slapping meat. And then you've got like Damian Priest is sort of slowed down a bit, but he was looking really good for the last sort of year. Last year, his match, he had a match at WrestleMania with Bad Bunny, the rapper from somewhere in South America. Where is he from? But like stuff like that, where you're just like, there's always just mad stuff going on. And from there, he sort of parlayed it into good stuff. He sort of slowed down a bit, but he's looking really good. You've got Dolph Ziggler, who's good. There's stuff going on that's interesting. It's just not... It's not everything's great anymore. So some of this will get slow. RK Bro, though. Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle is the most close to... He's just... You'll see. It's been since the 90s for Wally. I respect both decisions, to be fair. I respect both decisions. Again, only idiots like me carry on watching all of the time. And even then, like I say, even I've had periods over the last, 2 years where I've drifted in and out. They're putting over the fact that they've been hanging out with Migos. It's RK Bro. It's Matt Riddle talking to the mustached Rongan Randy Orton. Talking about how they were hanging out with Migos not yesterday, it's Saturday, at day 1, the pay-per-view. Which, again, WWE desperately trying to look cool. They're like, look, it's the Migos. As if anyone knew who the Migos were. Coming through with their triple time raps. That was not, triplets weren't happening. Matt Riddle, another guy who fought in the UFC. I want to say he was undefeated before he got fired there for smoking weed. Orton asks Matt Riddle what happened to all of the what happened to all of the New Year's resolutions that they made together. And obviously Riddle lists off a bunch of ridiculous things because he's Riddle and that's the way he acts. I can't get over Randy's mustache. It's just not okay. Who said to him that was alright? I'm sure he's married. I feel like that's something she should have probably said to him. Look, love, no. Just someone should have told him. Just no. doing rap references that are definitely current. Outcome RK Bro for their non-title match against Alpha Academy. It's Randy Orton and Riddle. Riddle on his scooter. Randy Orton with a dodgy mustache. If Randy Orton loses that mustache, I'm seeing a bit of Jack Rimmer in him. All I'm saying is Steph Haydock would be on it. That's all I'm saying. Steph Haydock would be on it. It's just I don't like it. Truth is, would he rip off government funds to try and get posh people into his school? I don't know. Would Randy do that? I don't know. I will say, as much as this, like, the comedy that they have going on at times is incredibly hit or miss for me, I will say they at least have a combined theme song, which is very important for me. I feel like you're not a true tag team unless you have a theme song that is like for you both. Not like one person's theme song and one person's theme song, or both just coming out to one of their theme songs. If you have something new or combined, I feel like that's the time, and they at least have that. They at least have the combined theme song. We're getting the highlights from their match on Saturday night where they defended against the Street Profits in a pretty flipping good match. A pretty good match. But then again, it's the Street Profits, they're good as well. Montez Ford just leaps about like a flipping frog. It's chaos. And again, showing us the Migos. Because again, I cannot stress how much WWE definitely knows who that is. There he is. Look at Otis. Look at Otis. And Chad Gable. The current Kurt Angle. A beautiful boy. Don't boot education. That's gross. I'm big into the spam box at the moment. They're good. Look at that face. Is this King Kong Bundy's son? This guy's huge. He's massive. Back in the day, he was a face a couple of like 2 years ago or a year ago when he first came up to the Raw and SmackDown, and he's just great. He's so good, and he's massive. And we get underway quickly. They start firing early doors. Do Alpha Academy just going straight for RK Bro. Otis just lobbing Riddle over the top. Spinning back elbow, which definitely did not... He's just... Oh, he's what a man. Eating steaks and lifting weights. What a man. What a man. He does look... He used to have a big bushy beard, Wally. We've gone to ad break on BT Sport. He used to have this big bushy beard, did Otis, right? And it was great. But now they've obviously got rid of it. And he's... Now they've got rid of it. And he does look a bit King Kong Bundy. Like, if they shaved him, like, if he got rid of all the hair, he would 100% look King Kong Bundy. Like, they would be the spitting image of each other. Like, that match he had... Was it WrestleMania 2? 2, 3, maybe? Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in a cage? Is it 3? 4? 3? I think it was 3. But yeah, him as a beard. Let's see. Can we get a picture of Otis? Otis WWE. Let's see. I might be able to pull up a picture of him in a beard, because his beard was he was just a good lad. That's the kind of picture we want. That's the kind of picture we want. Hang on a second. New. Get there. Give me a second. I've got to click 18,000 buttons just to pull it up. There it is. Look at that guy. Look at that. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrestler. You cannot tell me that is not an absolute beefcake of a man. Look at him. Lifting steaks and eating weights and all that good stuff. What a geezer. Yeah. Look at that beard as well. Let's try it. Hello, let's try it. Just look at that. He used to like slap his belly and like hang on. He used to slap his belly and do a lot of this business. It was great. I was here for it. Now he's very serious. Which is, he's doing his thing and fair play to him, but he was very serious now, whereas I'm into a big wild one. Wild OS. I always forget how many adverts there are on it. Especially because obviously the other stuff I do is for football, and it's like you only get adverts at half time, and then by that I'm busy doing 18,000 things anyway, so I forget. It's just mad. Just advert. Right, I'm just clicking around to make sure that's fine. There we go. But this one is going to be Arcade Bro. My gut is it's Arcade Bro, unless, because they are doing this thing. I can't remember. Did they say it was a championship match or not? Because if it's championship, then it could be an. If it's championship, then it's Arcade Bro. If it's not, then I think there's an argument to be said that you could see Alpha Academy getting the win because of this whole you need to listen to me more thing that they're doing. But I think that's what they said. I don't think they announced it was for championship, which means it could be Alpha Academy. It could be Alpha Academy. In which sense, I'm saying Alpha Academy via some sort of shenanigans, some sort of baddie maneuvers. Alpha Academy are getting the win. The huge guy wins, I bet. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's gotta be. Again, just look at that man. Tell me, hang on, let me pull it. Let's put it, where would I put it? Have to be all the way down here, wouldn't it? Wait. Look at that guy and tell me you can't have him not win. Look at him. He's an absolute specimen of a man. Hang on, let's I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's try and let's get real in there. There you go. That man can't not win. Again, he doesn't have the long hair anymore, doesn't have the beard. That's a bit of a problem. But if he doesn't win, then I'm not interested. I am, but I'm putting it out there as a strong stance at early doors. We're back and the match has got underway. It's Arcade Bro versus Alpha Academy. And Matt Riddle flying about gets instantly done in by Chad Gable. Chad Gable is an incredible wrestler. Like, Chad Gable, he represented, I think, I can't remember if he ended up representing or whether he was a candidate to represent the US at the 2012 Olympics for amateur wrestling. I can't remember whether he actually went or not. I feel like he might have gone, but I don't remember. But he's so good. He's like, since he started first appearing on WWE television in like 2015 or something, the guy is just, might have been a bit later than that. It's probably about 15. His guy is just so crisp. And his tag team with Otis, I'm vibing. I can't lie. I just came into like this. Thank you. Love you too. Thank you. Nice to see you. Just before you go, opinions on this guy. Out of 10. I'm saying it's clearly a 10. That's all I need. I'm saying he's clearly a 10. He's just such a big geezer. He looks like I would run into him into a pub and like be a bit like, out of 10 for what though? Oh, whatever you're vibing. If you want to go for looks, you can go for looks. Let me hang on. Let's give you the full vibe here. Would smash defo a 10. Look at the groove he's got going. Do you know what I mean? Bomb in the belly. Do you know what I mean? Would smash me definitely a 10. Listen. I think he's a beautiful man. I think he's a beautiful man. There's an arrow sitting in the bottom right hand corner, by the way. There's a 24/7 championship mixed tag team match with going on tonight. So that'll be a thing that exists in one. Look at the thighs. Do you know what I mean? Look at him. Look at the stance. Solid stance. You know what I mean? Just a solid stance, big thighs, all of just rotund. Just a great lad. Well, man. They were building up to a big hot tag there for Randy Orton, but Chad Gable pulls him off and then Otis just runs him over. Look at the calves. Yeah, that's a solid 10 of a man. Thank you very much. That's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Then you're more than welcome to leave. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then a big slam. A big slam. Big slam from Otis. 1, 2, 3, and it's done. He's done it. He's just slammed Riddle to the floor. They have ran over RK Bro, the champions, in incredibly quick time. Done and dusted. Alpha Academy get the dub. And that's got to put them in position for a title match, probably at Royal Rumble. Riddle went for an RKO, and Otis just muscles him into a slam, Mark Henry-esque, lobs him down, and that's it. It's done. It's over. Chalk that out for one for Charlie. I did call that one, but also Wally did. You also did call it, to be fair. But mate, they've done it. He's won, and look at him. He couldn't be happier about it. He could not be happier. What an exciting man. As Corey Graves, the commentator, just says, the girth of Otis as it goes off. You gotta respect him. Backstage now with Bobby Lashley, who is, of course, in the main event with the Fatal 4-Way for the number 1 contendership for the WWE Championship. The girth of Otis. I'm not done. Okay, I'm far out of my depth. Love you. Love you. Bye. Appreciate you for coming. And for giving your solid opinion on, of course, Otis. One man. MVP says he's got big odds to overcome tonight, walks away, and then when the comment comes in from Bobby, it's just that Bobby, he just says that Brock fears him, which I don't even think is true, mate, but I appreciate you saying it. We then get a little prelim for... this is the guy I was talking about, Wally. This absolute giant of a man, Omos. Standing next to one of the backstage interviewers. Scott, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. How are you? Do you know what I need? I need my pillow. Hang on. Give me a sec. I've got a bad back, bless me. Leave me alone. Hang on. Enjoy Danny. Danny can keep you company for a sec. Hang on. There we go. There we go. I can have a flipping... My back can work now. I feel so weird. Raid Shadow Legends. If you're watching on BT or a UK stream on a definitely website that I wouldn't suggest, they keep having Raid Shadow Legends adverts read by Jeff Goldblum, which is just weird because if it's not a YouTuber telling me to download it, then do I mind? No. How is the legend that is Mr. C? Let's assume you're talking about Danny DeVito, because although he's got 2 Ds, double D. Ooh, he's good. He's got a little mark there, bless him. Come on, Danny. Clean yourself up, mate. It's an important day. But I'm well. Hope you're well. I've seen his Omos stand next to the Big Show, and that's all I need to see of him. Yeah. Big geese. As bigger than Big Show, taller than him. Like a little bit. He's just gargantuan. It's not okay. Who you got fighting next? I'm not sure who's next. We have coming up tonight. Oh no. Up next is a 24/7 championship mixed tag match, which is coming up. Then there's the United States champion Damian Priest is defending against Dolph Ziggler. And the main of we got AJ Styles versus Omos, which was the big geezer we just saw. And then the main event is Big E versus Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. The winner becomes the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship, which is going to be a big thing. Happy I'm right. Hi, Charlie. Hello. How are you? Hope you're feeling all right. I heard through the grapevine that you weren't feeling too good, so I hope you're feeling all right. I hope you're feeling good. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Is Hunter still around? He's in backstage now. He's in backstage. He does every so often pop out for a match, especially around Mania time. So we might see him. I doubt it this year because they've got a lot of people around. But I think, did he come out last Mania? I don't think he had a match last Mania, but the one before that he did. But he does have a tendency to just pop out. But no, he's backstage at the moment. He helps run WWE, basically. He helps run WWE. Their third show, they have Raw, they have SmackDown, and they have one called NXT, which is on Tuesday nights, which is their, like, to put it in football terms, it's their under 23s. It's their, like, youth academy before they step up into, like, Raw and SmackDown. He runs that. So that's what he does now. But he does have a tendency, like I said, to just pop up every now and then and just have a match because he's Triple H. Well, you can't tell him no. You can't tell him no. You can't tell him no. So we're back to run over the AJ Omos storyline. Former tag team champions, of course. AJ Styles, one of the best wrestlers of his generation. Insanely good. Done literally everything there is to do in wrestling. Incredible. Omos, someone Vince loves because he's just colossal. He's a big boy. And they, of course, broke up a couple of weeks ago. AJ getting very angry at Omos. They weren't happy. And now we're gonna get we're getting the feud from it. We're getting a match from it. They did say next time they met would be in a ring for a match, and here we are. It's Omos, all 400 foot tall of him, versus AJ, all about 5'7" of him. Omos is winning this, by the way. Unless AJ sneaks a win, which I doubt Omos is winning this. You're right about this, guys. Like West Ham, absolutely massive. Exactly. He's huge. He's by far the biggest man in WWE at the moment, height-wise, and he's also deceptively like wedge. Do you know what I mean? Like he's deceptively wedge because he's big, but he's not like. Oh, I don't know. Like I remember Giant Gonzalez back in the day. This was in 90. When would that be? Early 90s wrestling, early 90s WWE, right? Someone like that who's like quite skinny, but he's tall. He's a former basketball guy. He's quite skinny, and he's not Big Show, who's tall, but is just like just fat, for lack of a better term. I can see it and know it, right? He's chunky, isn't he? You know what I mean? His air flights I would not want to be him on a plane. I'll say that much. I would not want to be him on a plane. How big he is. I mean, I know that's literally why WWE loves him, but look how big he is. He's got to win tonight, he has to. Love Rey Mysterio, what a boy. He is a beautiful boy. He's a beautiful man. Still going. Killed a guy that one time, but bless him. Apart from that. Harsh thing to say. Incredibly harsh thing to say. You know, he's a beautiful man. Him and his son. His son wrestles with him now, Dominic. Dominic, who he had a match with back in 2005, where it was him and Eddie Guerrero fighting over their custody. And yeah, now he's just here. Doing a tag team with his son. He was asked by the interviewer how he would react about AJ Styles' movements in the last couple of weeks, and he just put his hand over his face like that and went, "That's how I react." Which, again, he is bloody massive. So here we go. It's the 24/7 mixed tag team match. It's Akira Tozawa and Tamina Snuka. Akira Tozawa, a legend in my mind. And if you try to tell me otherwise, you're wrong. Versus the current champ, Dana Brooke, and Reginald, I think it was. versus Brooke, and we'll hit Reggie. We'll hit Reggie. I don't fully understand what the rules of this are. I assume it's whoever gets the pin will be the champion. This is a very weird situation. The 24/7 championship, if you're unaware, is a championship where you're basically it's just defended 24/7 at any time. It's the hardcore championship reimagined, right? So at any point, you can have to defend this championship. You get rolled up anywhere in the world backstage. Whoever rolls you up and wins is the champion, right? I have no clue how this is going to work. I assume it's whoever wins. Oh, Reggie's deceptively good. Reggie is deceptively good. He's not been around long, Reggie, right? But I think he was in Cirque du Soleil before or something like that. But he's real good. He's just unnecessarily athletic. He's just flippy boy. And Akira is just Curtis Alves, great. Another throwback when Y2J became the undisputed champion, defeating Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night. Couldn't believe it. Yeah. That was mad as well. He should it made no. Well, it didn't make no sense. It was just sort of unbelievable to see his debut, man, in Chicago, where the words come down. It says why the countdown happens and then Jericho, woof, and then the boof, and he had the what a boy, just a Ultimo lad. Jericho, he's still around in AEW doing his thing. He's got a faction around him at 50, I want to say he is now, something like that. And Edge shaving Kurt Angle's hair. You're bald? Yeah. And then he used to come out with the headgear thing and the fake hair underneath it. Kurt Angle. Beautiful man. He has retired. That era for wrestling was unbelievable. Yeah. It's probably the best era that's ever happened. Like, Stone Cold coming down with the beer truck. Then a little while later, Angle came down with the milk truck in 2000. I think it was like 2001 or whatever it was. Like, just the whole thing. The whole just constant, like, Undertaker versus Mankind in Hell in a Cell. Where Frank Mankind got thrown off the top through the table. Just so many insane things went on around back then. It's a lot calmer now. It's a lot calmer. Not, to be fair, in AEW. AEW is wilder than WWE is now, but WWE in general, quite calm now. Getting another ad before we get this match underway. It will inevitably be about 3 minutes long. It's going to be great. Can't wait. It's the way it is. I don't know who's going to win this. I mean, I suspect storyline-wise, it will probably be Reginald and Dana again. Probably Reggie getting the pin. That's the guess. That's the suggestion I'm going with. We'll have a cheeky 2-dub then. 2 points. That I'll take that. But I think it will be. That will probably be how it works out. Reggie getting the pin again, and then Tamina goes for Akira, and she'll just work her way through until she gets to Dana by herself. That's the bet. Does RVD have any role now? He was my absolute favourite. What is RVD doing at the moment? I think is he officially retired, or is he wrestling somewhere? He was wrestling as of before the pandemic, not for WWE or anywhere else, not for any of the majors. But I think he's now officially. I want to say he's retired now. Like I said, this was before pandemic though, and obviously the pandemic's changed a lot of things. Because I know he's going. He went into the Hall of Fame last year. So I think he just might be. I think he might be retired, although he will just pop out at any point. Let's see. Has he had any independent matches? Let's look at that. That's another way you can figure out. Just see if he's had any independents. But again, I know he's had a couple of matches. He had a couple of matches last year after leading up. So he had one match last year after he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, and that's it. But again, pandemic times, it's very weird for wrestling. There's not like a whole ton of places to be. So we'll see as we come out of it. But I think he might just be officially retired now. But one of the greats to forever do it. He's so good. Forever the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. The Van Daminator, the kicks, the one where he would put the chair on someone and then jump off the ropes on the other side and drop kick him. Unreal. Just incredibly good at what he did. Just incredibly good. And still not a bad wrestler, to be fair. He's like Ric Flair is somehow still wrestling like 2 matches a year. Not for WWE or anyone, but just about. He just turns up and does like a match. And you look at him, you're like, that's a 70-year-old, 80-year-old geezer. RVD, I'm not saying he looks the same as he did, because obviously he doesn't. But still moves incredibly well for what he was. Christ, he skilled out watching what he really was. 5-star frog splash, said in Jim Roth. 5-star frog splash. Yeah, great finisher. We are getting a match underway. Akira Tozawa straight away going for the roll-up. 2 count. 24/7 championship matches. Anything can happen. A win can happen at any time. I'm betting it will be Dana and Reginald. Reginald getting the pin, who's the guy in the red. The red and yellow. Nice drop kick. Akira Tozawa in the ninja costume because WWE. Akira went for the big boot in the corner. Reginald moves out of the way and he just... Okay, fair play. Big boot, Tamina fuming. An incredible shot of Akira Tozawa there, knowing that he screwed the pooch on that one. And now Reginald with a huge flip senton. 1, 2, 3. It's done. I called it. It is Reggie getting the dub again. Dana Brooke keeping the belt without ever having to do anything for it. And Reggie still maintaining just insane athleticism. It's done. Bloody hell, that's another one when Undertaker beat the 11 daylights out of Ric Flair and his son. Yes. What, mate? Back in the day. Scenes. Wally, that was quick. Yeah, you're not wrong. That was bloody quick. Yeah, the 24/7 championship is very much like, here is a thing that's happening now, and then it's done. It's, again, Scott, it's like the hardcore title from back in the day, where, like, it would cut to, like, Crash Holly, like, eating a sandwich in a restaurant somewhere, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Hardcore Holly or someone else would come and try and have a beef with him. And do you know what I mean? And it would be over, like, quickly. It's that kind of thing. It's just rapid. There's no hanging around with the 24/7 championship. It's just here and then it's gone instantaneously. And this is the most you ever get matches for it. Usually what happens is you just get, like, a chase sequence backstage or somewhere in the city they're in that ends in someone getting pinned and then they go. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 of them in a show. So that's a lot. For 24/7, that's a lot. Surprisingly, that's a lot. Oh, no. We're getting the replay now of Liv versus Becky. Getting the highlights of that from Saturday's Day 1 show, in which Liv Morgan almost got the win with a beautiful sunset flip powerbomb off the second turnbuckle with a full-on flip. It was very, very good. And then she did go for a finisher, which Becky reversed into the manhandle slam and got the win. 1, 2, 3. They couldn't quite... It looked like the finish was a little bit awkward. Like, it looked like Becky was trying to do a cheat finish where she had her feet on the ropes. It didn't quite work out. But Becky is still big time Bex, or whatever they're calling her at the moment. Just bad. Is still the champion. I was hoping the 2 women would get into it. You will soon. There's a tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Women's Championships coming up. And then I suspect we'll see something to do with Becky. Becky should come out to celebrate. We'll see. She'll probably get into an argument with someone, if not Liv Morgan, for another match at Mania. We'll see. For Royal Rumble. We'll see. Big Time Bex. I hate that nickname with a passion. Big Time is just so awkward and clunky. She is. She's coming out now. Here she is. It's Big Time Bex. Alleged in my eyes. Again, apart from that name, which I just cannot respect. My G, My Irish, whatever you want to call it. I've got nothing. I had something in my head. It instantly went out of my head. These things happen. I'm live on the internet. Favorite signature move? For me, it was the pedigree, tombstone pile driver, or stone cold stunner. Great shouts. Excellent shouts, all of them. I love a... Do you know what? I'll try and avoid different... I'll try to say different ones, even though those are some... Like, for example, stunner. Kevin Owens, who's in the main event tonight, he has a stunner as his finisher at the moment as well. And I love a stunner. But... Sweet Chin Music, Shawn Michaels was pretty sick. Choke Slam. Undertaker or Kane choke slam. Always an exciting time. Always an exciting time. That moment where they're like... And they get him into it and then up. Grand old time. And then Frog Splash, Eddie Guerrero or 5-star RVD. Because Eddie Guerrero is like one of my favorites of all time. I love Eddie Guerrero. Is just a hero to me. So the Frog Splash was woof. Woof. Sweet Chin Music is a great shout. As is the choke slam. Yeah. Sweet Chin Music out of nowhere. Always a grand old time. You know, there was that match in like, you might not have seen it, Scott. I don't know when you stopped watching to some extent, but when Shelton Benjamin faced Shawn Michaels in 2000 and must have been about 2005, maybe a bit later than that. And Shelton Benjamin jumps off the top ropes to attack Shawn Michaels and he hits him with the Sweet Chin Music out of the sky. Oh. Tombstone pile driver comes in with clips. It's a beautiful move. Slightly terrifying. Especially when you're a kid, like, and you're doing the moves, like 100%. Those things would come up and it would say, "Don't try this at home." But I was 100% trying this at home. Me and my friends, we would do it we would get a mattress and then we'd get a second mattress and put it on top. So there were 2 mattresses, and then we would do wrestling moves on each other onto the mattresses. And no one could do it to me because I was significantly tall. I was taller than all of my friends. And so no one could do like tombstones to me and stuff. But I remember one person trying and it being the scariest moment of my life. Being like the scariest moment of my life. Not okay with that. We were always doing that. We were always doing the DDT. Yeah. DDTs, just the classic body slams. Suplexes were not happening. I could do it to a couple of people because I was bigger, but not many. And then you've just got the classics like a what do you call it? Figure 4 leg locks. They were going in on people left, right, and center. Boston Crabs / Walls of Jericho. They were going in on people. We would try to do swanton bombs off of my chest of drawers. My mum really hated that because not only were you bouncing off 2 mattresses just into stuff in the room because it was 2 mattresses, you're obviously bouncing or flying around. It was also unbelievably loud downstairs. And mum would be like, the floor's going to cave in. And I'm like, yeah. Idiot. Was Jericho also often? Yeah. I remember in school busting out the attitude adjustment to kids in the year below. Bad idea. Yeah. F5s, because Brock Lesnar, when I was younger, so Brock Lesnar was just, when I must have been about, when Brock Lesnar first came into WWE, I was about 9-10, I think. And so he was like, people were getting F5, especially older brothers of older brothers of my friends were like hitting F5s on people left, right, and center. And then when the attitude adjustment, the FU was coming along, that was happening. It was a dangerous time. It was a dangerous time. I can't lie. So big time Bex is in the ring. She has a microphone. She's getting a sort of 50-50 reaction, mostly cheers, which again for a baddie is probably not a good thing, but it is Becky Lynch. You can't not cheer her. She's the best. That was nothing but a 1-2-3 count. Yeah. I mean, we saw it at the pay-per-view on Saturday. He hit 4 in that, 2 on Big E, and it was done. Hit one on Seth, 1 on Kevin, and then 2 on Big E, and it was done. It was over. Oh man. Becky says that there's something about the new year, new hope, new you means that people think they can overcome the odds. Thinks that people think they can take her Raw Women's Championship. But she says her new resolution, the top of her list, is to remain the Raw Women's Championship. The Raw Women's Champion, sorry. Romeo Trontinus. Yeah, so that was the attitude adjustment, which was like F5, where he had him up on shoulders, but then would just be straight down. But then they changed it to the, it was called the FU, but then they changed it to the attitude adjustment about 2 years after he started or something, because they were moving more PG, and so they couldn't have a finisher that was literally a swear word. They also had the STFU, which was like a submission move on the floor, which then again just got changed to an STF. Because you can't be swearing. It's naughty. Becky declares herself a work of art. She says, wearing a jacket that David Sullivan would be proud of. She says, you go to a museum, you look at a Vincent van Gogh, you look at it, and you look at it and you stand in awe. You might not understand the details, the complexities, the eccentricities, but it makes you feel. And that's what she does. She makes you feel, because that's what good art does. Becky trying her best to be heel, but again, she can't because it's Becky Lynch. She's too good. The FU, yeah. They changed it because that was when they were going PG. Becky declares herself the Vincent van Gogh of WWE, which isn't bad. But again, she's too good to be a band. She's too good to be heel. She's too good to be a baddie. I just want her and Sami Zayn running about being idiots again. That's all I need in my life. That's all I need in my life. She points at some people in the crowd, insults them before saying, "No one in the back is going to become the Raw Women's Champion." And if you don't believe her, look at Liv Morgan. On the first day of the new year, she couldn't do it. And here comes Liv Morgan with her not good theme song. Again, it's just a dead theme song. A good wrestler and a dead theme song. It's not happening. It's not happening. Is Alexa Bliss around my future wife? She is, yes. She is. She's been having a different character recently, because she got involved with Bray Wyatt and did some bad stuff. But yeah, no, she is still around. She is still around. She's got a doll at the moment. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Favorite ring entrance? That's a good question. Favorite ring entrance? Liv saying that she knows and Becky knows just how close she was to winning, which I assume means this is going to carry on despite the fact Becky technically won clean, which, you know, is what it is. Favorite ring entrance? Rey Mysterio's old one back in the day on SmackDown in 2003 or 4 or 5, whenever it was, where he would jump out from the ring, and then that was sick. Where, not from the ring, where he would jump out from the stage, where it would be like, go, go, go. Who's that jumping out the sky? R.E.Y. Mysterio. Here we go. That was a banger. And then, to be fair, his current theme song, the one he's had for a decade or whatever, the Booyaka Booyaka 619, that's pretty good as well. Stone Cold, the smash, the glass smash is iconic, yeah. That's the thing about back in the day, which I think was better then than it was now. They don't have too much of now. Is that, like, they would have like a sound effect or something that was just like, it's going down. It's happening right now. So, you know, you had like Stone Cold with the glass smash. You had Brock Lesnar with the like wow, wow, wow noise. I don't know how to do it. Before the dun, 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 dun. Rock with If You Smell. Like, there's not enough of those nowadays. Like, now the songs just start, which is fine. It is what it is, but, you know. And Triple H has the big, like, guitar riff. I like Triple H. Did you remember the time where Triple H had Lemmy do his entrance live at a WrestleMania? And Lemmy just very clearly could not remember the lyrics. And just was like, it's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game and how you play it. Like, he just carried on going. What a man. What a man Lemmy was. Bianca Belair has come out now. Bianca Belair has come out to interrupt these two to lay her claim. Rightfully so. What a G. Like, one absolute legend. My girlfriend watched WrestleMania last year. It's the first wrestling thing she'd ever seen. She watched all of it with me, bless. She wasn't watching most of the time. She was just on her laptop, but she was here. And Bianca Belair was one of the ones where she was like, actually, no, this girl's kind of sick. And she goes, bruv. And she says she should be next in line for the Raw Women's Championship. The lights going out for The Undertaker is undefeated. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm surprised. Clips. I'm surprised you haven't, like... I mean, it's one of those things where you've already got one wrestling reference in, so you don't have to flip and spam the people. All I'm saying is if one day there's a super sub situation where we're getting done in, and then the lights go out and Antonio gets substituted on, and you hear the gong. I'm just saying that's a bit. I'm putting it out there for free. You can have it. But yeah, no, lights going. When I've been live like a bunch of times to different places, be it WWE, UK indie stuff, a bunch of different places, and the Undertaker lights going out live is something. There's something just unreal about it. When it happens, just everyone loses it. Will these three start fighting? My bet is they'll have a little bit of an argument now, maybe a little bit of a scrap, and then either tonight or next week on Monday, it will be Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan, number one contender. Whoever wins faces them at Royal Rumble, potentially. That's the bet. We'll see what happens. That's what Becky's just said. She says, I'll leave, you two decide who it's going to be, and then I'll come back. And both of them have just decided to absolutely Lynch and have thrown her out of the ring. Get out of it, they say. I suspect, in a very American way, whatever the American way of saying get out of it would be. And now the two of them are squaring up, and now they're throwing fists. Blaps are happening. Bianca hoists Liv up and just slams her into the ring post. Into the turnbuckles and starts just shouldering her. Liv fighting back, hits a nice step up into Guri. Oh, Bianca's got her up. Looking for the KOD. Beck stops it for some reason. If I was her, I would have just left it. But then she hits the manhandle slam and stands tall, holding the belt high. Whether or not that'll be a match tonight or next week, it's going to happen. They've set it up. It will be Bianca and Liv fighting to see who'll be the number one contender for Beck's belt. But Beck stands tall after Liv was up for the KOD very briefly. Very briefly. I was devastated when they did the draw for the Superstars to go on Raw SmackDown. Mate, that one where... There was the one where they split up the Dudley Boys. Was that the first one? That might have been the first one. Like, and they split up the Dudley Boys and they had everyone like sat backstage, and then the Dudley Boys just sort of looked at each other, and it was like a moment. Or when Undertaker got drafted to, I think it was Raw originally, or it might be SmackDown, I can't remember which. And there's just the shot where the Undertaker's just at the back of the room and then it zooms in on him. Oh, they've done it a couple of times. They're doing it again. They have a draw system at the moment. So after, I don't know when they're going to end up doing it this year. But they will do it again. It's not as good as it used to be, but it is. They still do have some good moments, like the one where everyone got drafted apart from Heath Slater, and he was just sat by himself, and the lights went out, and he was like, "Oh, that was great. That was great." And then a wrestler from Raw would appear on SmackDown. Brilliant. Yeah. It's always exciting. Well, that's what happened with Brock on Saturday, technically, kind of, because he was on SmackDown, but then he said, "Oh, I'm free agent. I can do what I want." So he turned into the Raw match. Love this, better than plain old cheerleaders. Look, Wally, I'm just saying, wrestling's got it all, bruv. Wrestling's got it all. You can't tell me it doesn't. You can't tell me it doesn't. We're getting Kevin and Seth backstage, reaffirming their plan to team up in the Fatal 4-Way so that one of them can guarantee to win it as opposed to being Biggie or Bobby. Kevin's convincing Seth to do it once again. Says that which one of the two of them wins can then go on to face Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and the other one can help them beat Lesnar, and then at WrestleMania they can have a fair contest between the two of them. Seth agrees. Both of them saying they trust each other 100%. Not the case. This is going very wrong. Kevin Owens, a wonderful man. A wonderful man. But here we go. This is the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nikki ASH from Scotland teaming up with Rhea and her brutality. I always forget that they scream at the beginning of her song. Trying to take on the champions. Trying to win back the belts that they've had for a while. I hope you were the guy that bought a belt from Tesco and then battered your mate with it and sibling for the title as an arresting belt that they sell. Yes, one of the ones we did when I was a kid, so I never had siblings, right? But all of my friends on my council estate I grew up on, we all loved wrestling, obviously. And so one of the ones we did is we in the playground, there was a playground on the estate that was like, you know, that black rubber stuff. It was just black rubber stuff. So you could fall on it relatively well without seriously injuring yourself. My mum helped me make a like an announce table out of cardboard boxes that we just had about the house, and we like drew like the Raw and SmackDown logos on it and stuff, and then we did like fake wrestling matches and would put each other through the cardboard tables and stuff. That was fun. But yeah, I never had a belt, but all my friends did do that, and you're damn right we would smack each other with it 100%. You do the thing where you like say this is the belt. You like, as you're hitting them, you put your hand here, so you're actually just hitting their hand and it doesn't hurt that much. But yeah, 100%. So here come the champs. Carmella, and Queen Zelina. Can they defend their championships once more? They've been on a little bit of a roll since Zelina won the Queen of the Ring a couple of weeks ago. About a month ago, probably, at this point. Come on. That's what's up for. There we go. Rhea and Nikki, of course. Nikki ASH, former champions. Of whom I want to win, of course, because Nikki is from Scotland and you have to rep the beef of the UK, even though Zelina is like a true G. You sort of have to rep your beef and you've got to go with Nikki. But it's going to be, I'm very confident this one's going to be Mella and Zelina. It has to be. It has to be. That's classic. Yeah. You had to do it, bro. Like we used to we had like deck chairs and we'd bring them out and jump off them and stuff. It was a grand old time. What about you? Did you do the same thing? That sort of nonsense. We were obsessed with it. Like I said, it was the estate that I lived on, the council estate. For some reason, just everyone had sons. There was like no one had daughters, and I don't know why. Just every single kid on the estate was sons, and we were all around about the same age. There was like the oldest was like 3 years older than me, and the youngest was like 5 years younger, but they were born like while I was living there and stuff. But they had like 5 brothers, so they had whatever. So everyone was about the same age, and we would all just do it. We'd play football and we'd do wrestling, and that was it. It was great. It was a grand old time. It was a grand old time. Getting a cheeky ad break before this one happens. Getting this one. I think it will be Nikki. No, I think it will be Carmella and Zelina retain. That's my bet. Carmella and Zelina retain after a good effort from Nikki and Rhea. Just because I feel like it's not the time. Although with the women's tag team championships, there's always room for a random title change. But I'm willing to bet. I'm not willing to bet, but I would say I'm pretty confident. So I'll go. This is one where it could be quite easily wrong. Carmella and Zelina, though, that's the bet. At times, however, Orton Brothers is getting beaten to yeah. And I do my titles, yeah. I used to. What was the title you used to like have? Like, because we had like for some reason I was obsessed with the Intercontinental Championship and the European Championship. I was like obsessed with the European title as a kid. I don't know if it was because it was partly because European, so it was like, yo, that's the UK one or whatever, but also because I loved William Regal, and Regal obviously had it a lot. So like I always had like, for some reason in my brain, like the one that I liked having was always the European title, and I don't know why. It was just the thing. And there was this, I remember like we used to have this, there was this part on the estate, I'm just going on now, I'm sorry. But there was this part on the estate which was like it was like a random square that I still don't understand why the designers put it there, but it was this random square where it had this one bit in the middle that was like a sort of concrete, almost like a concrete bench, I don't know. But we used to like jump and do stuff with that. It was incredibly dangerous, but yeah. The Intercontinental belt and one of the others which I can't think of was fair. Yeah, possibly the European title. Yeah, you had like back in the day. You had the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Tag Team Championships, the World Tag Team Championships, the Intercontinental, the US title came back in about 2002, 3, something like that. You had the European Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the Hardcore Championship, the Cruiserweight Championship, what else did we have? It was loads. Bloody hell, William Regal, what a throwback. I worked with him last year. I was doing work last year, some events work. I was running some live shows, live shows online, with Clinton Baptiste, who's a character, the comedian who plays in Alex Lowe. But he was in Phoenix Nights and a bunch of other stuff, which funnily enough I got through Russ of all people, Russ Budden. So what a man Russ Budden is. But yeah, I was doing this work with Clinton. We were running live shows, and on every live show we did, he had a celebrity guest on. And one of them was William Regal, because William Regal's big into, William Regal actually did stand-up comedy for a while in the UK, and he's big in the stand-up comedy scene in the UK, so he was like big friends with him, and so William Regal came on, so I got to meet William Regal, and it's still one of like the greatest moments of my life, where I had to explain to William Regal how to use StreamYard. That was fun. That was a fun moment in my life, but still. World Heavyweight Championship, that was it. It was a sensitive belt with Hunter. Yeah. He had the World Heavyweight Championship for years. Like proper while. I think he had it for almost a year, but on and off, he was at least champion for like 3 years or something. The match gets underway. Zelina Vega instantly steps up to Rhea Ripley, slaps her before going for a... Oh, she looked like she was going for a twisty DDT there, but Rhea just powers her up into the suplex. Rhea Ripley, one-handed suplex, no messing around. Bang. Straight down. 1, 2... The camera cuts to Carmella there, obviously not on the side of the ring and wearing that weird mask she does. They promote it the next Monday Night Raw in Philadelphia. Is it? Well, there you go, Wally. There you go, big scenes. It's all kicking off next week. Have they got anyone from Philadelphia at the moment? Not sure, I'd have to double check. What's Regal like in person? He's really nice. I was really scared because, like, I don't tend to get that nervous around like famous people for some reason. Like I've interviewed West Ham players in the past and I've never felt nervous about it at all. Like I've never felt nervous about it at all. But for some reason, Regal was like the time I was super nervous. Because obviously William Regal, it just was weird to me. But no, he was incredibly nice. I said his real name's Darren, but obviously I wasn't going to call him that. So I said, I was like, oh, when I first started speaking and trying to explain to him the software and stuff, I said, oh, sorry, what would you like me to call you, by the way? And he was like, oh, when I'm not at work, just call me Darren. And I was like, okay, Darren. But it's just weird. It was just weird. But what a man. He was incredibly nice. What man. Do you need a ringside reporter? Listen, if you went, I wouldn't say no. But obviously, listen, you're a busy man. You got stuff going on, you know. I wouldn't expect you to do that if you were there. But again, you've got stuff to do. Also, Raw's tapings are long. I won't lie, they are long. Nikki ASH just fighting back against Zelina there, who had her in a headlock. Launches are over. She wants to try and get to Rhea Ripley for the pin, but Zelina just stops her in her tracks. Darren, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, I know, right? What's the surname? Darren Matthews, I think it is. Darren Matthews from Blackpool. William Regal from Manchester. Or London, depending on what time it was. Or Zelina hits with a quick roll-up and it's done and dusted that quickly. And Zelina does get the win. I was correct. They did keep the championships in the end. Carmella and Zelina win it. Carmella doesn't even get in the ring and neither does Rhea Ripley. Rhea is very annoyed by this. They have been building up to maybe a turn from one of them. But Zelina with a surprise roll-up on Nikki ASH gets the dub. And Nikki ASH is apologizing to Rhea Ripley. We'll see where this goes. Again, they've been building up to something here for a while. Is this going to be it? But a very, very quick dub for for Zelina on Nikki ASH. And Carmella, who doesn't even have to get in to win. An easy night of money making for Carmella there. Mella is money after all. She gets the dub without even having to do anything. Very British, which doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I know. There's a wrestler at the moment in NXT, the thing I was talking about Triple H does on Tuesday nights now, called Pete Dunne, who's an English guy, whose real name, and he's from Birmingham, or is he from Wolverhampton? One of the two. He's from the Midlands somewhere. But one of his actual name, his real name, is Peter England. Which, when I found out, I was like, why doesn't WWE use that name? That sounds like the most WWE name in existence. Peter England. That's like perfect for them. But no, Pete Dunne. Johnny, cutting to this Johnny Knoxville thing that he put on Instagram Saturday. I think it was Saturday during the day, declaring that he is entering the Royal Rumble, which is on Saturday, January 29th, which I will be live streaming this on this very channel. So subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. But that will be a thing that's being streamed on this channel. But yeah, Johnny Knoxville, of all people, because sure, why not? Dun, 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 dun. Here come the Street Profits. Solid lads. They, of course, lost in a match with, I don't know if you know this, guys, the Migos. But they are great lads. With the rain in cups. They want the smoke. And did accidentally just slap the cameraman, but still. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Dawkins is the one with the two headbands. Ford is the one with the glasses who is very jumpy. But here come the Street Profits. Just funky lads. They've announced that they've both officially entered the Royal Rumble match. Before claiming that they want the smoke. And coming up, we have the Street Profits versus Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. Dong, 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 dong. Versus Apollo and Aziz. They need to get a new WWE promo for BT Sport. It still has Heyman with Roman. Come on now. Come on now. You've got me back into it. I'll catch up on the shows next week. Well, there you go. I'm very sorry, Scott. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry indeed. The Royal Rumble's the next big thing that everyone should be looking towards. That's January 29th. That's Saturday. That's the next big event that's coming up. Always the exciting one, the Royal Rumble. That's what we're building up to now. So if you're looking for another big event, that's the next big one. Until then, we've got your Raws and your SmackDowns in between. And then AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage, of course, on Wednesday and Friday, which this week I'm doing watch-alongs for as well. I'm going to do watch-alongs all this week for every show I watch. Raw, SmackDown, AEW Rampage, AEW Dynamite. AEW is really good as well. AEW is very much, sort of feels even a little bit more like wrestling did back in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. That kind of exciting, anything can happen vibe. That's pretty flipping good. That's on ITV in the UK. So I'll be doing those as well. But yeah, the next big event that everyone should be looking forward to, or everyone looking towards at least, is the Royal Rumble. But I apologise, Scott. Deeply. Deeply. And to make up for it, here is a picture, where is he? Of Otis. Look at him. What a man. What a beautiful big geezer. Unstoppable individual. Look at him. Specimen. Absolute specimen. This is another interesting match. The Profits versus Apollo and Aziz. Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. Commander Aziz is another big bloke. Just another very, very large man indeed. Up there with Omos in just huge geezer territory. Can't decide on this one. I feel like it should be the Street Profits, but Apollo and Aziz could pull something out of the hat. I feel like it should be the Street Profits though. They are the people who have some momentum. And they've just announced that they're going for the Royal Rumble, so you feel like you want to build momentum for them. But I don't know. Apollo and Aziz, like I said, they are big, and they did have some momentum. Not currently, but they did at one point. I'll stick with the Street Profits. But it wouldn't surprise me if it went the other way. This is another one of those ones where I'm like, ugh. We come back to the Mysterios cutting a promo. Ray and his son Dominic, his IRL son, if you're wondering. Who both announced that they're entering the Royal Rumble. Says the Mysterios are an unstoppable duo, but they are indeed entering the Royal Rumble. Big plays. Big plays. Come on, Ray. Dominic's not bad, to be fair to him, but... Here comes Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. Apollo Crews, not the tallest, but he is very hench. And can do backflips. Never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. They cut to Montez really struggling to take his top off there. It's all good. I love it. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it, Scott. I genuinely do. And again, I do apologise. I do apologise. Deeply. Deeply. There you go. There's Commander Aziz. Look at him. He's a big, like I say, he's not Omos levels of big, but he is big. I'm going to go with the Street Profits, but again, it would not surprise me if Apollo and Aziz got something here. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking Apollo and Aziz. But I'll stick with my guns. We are getting Montez Ford and Commander Aziz starting in the ring together. Aziz straight away overpowering his opponent, but Montez is very, very quick. He's an incredible athlete, Montez. When you watch him fight, he's just naturally incredibly athletic, very quick. His jumping height is insane. He flies like nobody's business. And it's not even like a Rey Mysterio sort of doing lots of high flying moves. He just jumps so flipping high. It's kind of insane. Trying to get a bit of speed up against Aziz, but can't quite manage it. Overpowers him straight with a big slam and it's done. I'm going with Apollo and Aziz. Yeah, fair, Wally. That's a very fair shout. He's huge. He is huge. And the more I think about it, the more I think I'm wrong. But I'll keep it. Even the greats are wrong sometimes. You know? There you go. Montez Ford just jumping up to Aziz. It's huge on the enziguri. Then in comes Dawkins with his double headband. I said this on Saturday. I'll say it every time I see him. Similarly, so I will until Randy Orton gets rid of that goddamn mustache and until Brock Lesnar stops looking like a farmer. He wears two headbands and I don't understand why. And he's done it for 6 years. But just no. He covered Apollo after the silencer and Aziz just walked in and just pulled him off him as if to say, no, sir. Dawkins managed to get him outside the ring, but Aziz drags him out, has him up on his shoulder. It's a dangerous position. Nice reversal from Dawkins, straight into the ring post. Big enziguri from Apollo Crews, looking to try and get something happening. On Dawkins, the tag happens. He doesn't notice it. Big pop-up spinebuster, and up raises Montez with an unbelievably high frog splash. 1, 2, 3, and it's another match done in very, 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 very quick succession. And it's Montez Ford who does get the dub. I was right, they would. And that, we need to see a slow motion replay of that frog splash. It was so insanely high. Can we get a wide angle on that, WWE? Only going to get that close up. Yeah, here comes the wide angle. Look at this for how high he gets. Look at that. It's insane how high he gets. Huge frog splash. Dawkins does well with a quick reversal on Commander Aziz to take him out of action. And Montez and Dawkins capitalize on the slightly weaker Apollo Crews and get their dub quickly. I was right. The greats are never wrong, apparently. So we're getting our little recap of the Ziggler Priest feud that's been happening. Of course, Ziggler trying to best Damian Priest. He's been around for many years. Dolph Ziggler has won many a championship. He's been trying to best Damian Priest, who's been doing really well, but did get DQ'd for beating up Dolph Ziggler a bit much, which was weird. But it is what it is. And so tonight in their US title match, if the champion does get disqualified, he would lose his championship belt, which is not usually something that happens. The other, of course, X factor in this is that Robert Roode will probably be at ringside with Dolph Ziggler, causing problems. It is what it is. We're getting a backstage promo with Damian Priest here. He gets asked what he thinks of the stipulation. He says the side Ziggler wants is that furious side, the angry side that let out. That's why he got disqualified. And he said he needs to stay cool and calm and collected because that way he'll maintain the belt. He said he'll do it regardless, but that's the aim. Damian Priest with his weirdly deep voice. I was never back in the so Damian Priest, before he joined WWE as Damian Priest, used to wrestle for Ring of Honor, an American promotion that unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to exist anymore. But yeah, he the pandemic destroyed them. But he used to wrestle back then as what was his name in the Ring of Honor? I can't remember, but I was never convinced by him. I just didn't think he was that good. Turns out he's actually really good, and I was just wrong af. And here he is, the Archer of Infamy. The United States champion. He defends against Dolph Ziggler. If he gets disqualification or count out, he loses the title. Champion's advantage does not exist. This should be fun. This should be a good match. This should be a good match. Outside of the main event, this is the one where I'm like, this has the potential to be a very good match. That will be up after the break. In fact, I'm going to go to the toilets. During the ad break, I'll leave you once again with Danny. Just, you know, if you have any questions, just ask him. He's a smart geezer, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hello. Danny does have a Simpsons pillow. Well, I do. It's from my back. Because I might be too young for that kind of stuff, Wally. But I do have back problems. But yeah, he inspired me to you know, look after my back. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, here comes Doudrop and a Scottish accent. We're outside with Pierce and Sonya Deville saying that Doudrop says she deserves a title shot. There we go. She says the WWE Universe is bored of the same women getting chances at the belt, and she demands that Doudrop gets given her first chance. She refers to herself in the third person to let the people know that she's serious. She says they're not just going to give her a title shot, but they'll give her an opportunity to prove herself. So next Monday night on Raw in Philly, it'll be a triple threat. Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair versus Doudrop. And the winner of that will go on to face Big Time Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship at Royal Rumble. Intriguing putting a little bit of Doudrop in there. Potential game changer. She's a good lass, not just because she's Scottish, but that is obviously an important part of the thing. Again, you've got to represent the UK when you can. But yeah, she's good. She's very good. I've seen her live many times. She's very good. Crossy, my other boy, just kind of taking a tumble on her. And here comes Dolph Ziggler to take on Damian Priest. Dolph, with the same theme song he's had since about 2010, something like that. Insane that he's been around for that long and still looks practically like he did 6-7 years ago when he won the title. It's kind of wild to me. A very, very good in-ring wrestler. He's very good at a lot of things. His moment passed him by and he didn't quite get the push he should have, but a very good wrestler. But mad that he still looks basically the same he does 6-7 years ago, except just with a beard. Prediction for this one. Probably Damian Priest retaining. That would be my bet. Damian Priest retains the championship. There's going to be some sort of nonsense going on. But I don't feel like now's the time. And Dolph Ziggler's the guy. But we'll see. Doesn't have champion's advantage, so maybe. But my bet will be Damian Priest. But there you go. Dolph Ziggler introduced, representing the Dirty Dogs, of course, himself and Robert Roode, their tag team. The United States champion, the Archer of Infamy from New York himself, Damian Priest. He's got some kind of like martial arty stuff going on in his moveset, which I quite enjoy. You know, he's a big geese. He's a big tall geese, but he moves very fluidly. He moves very fluidly, which I like. This is probably my most anticipated match apart from the main event 4-way. This is probably my most anticipated one. We've seen a lot of very quick matches tonight. This won't be one, I don't suspect. I think this will have at least an ad break in the middle. Dolph annoying Damian Priest out of the gate, who just starts wailing on him. Again, you're going to see a lot of bits like this where they're going to remind us the stipulation. If Damian Priest gets disqualified for disobeying the ref or for a count out, he will lose the belt, which is not something that usually happens with a champion. A champion usually retains. So Dolph is going to want to try and annoy him into disqualification here. He goes for his DDT, but he gets caught in midair. Oh, flicks off the barricade into a big tornado DDT from Dolph Ziggler. Nice. Big plays, Dolph. Big plays, mate. And there is that ad break I predicted. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and if you're watching BT Sport, a bulldog wearing a West Ham shirt. Scenes. Wah. There is the ad break. I did predict one. We've got about an hour and 15 minutes left of the show. We've got the main event, which will take probably half an hour of the show up. You got this. This will probably lead us to the hour mark. Maybe a little bit past that potentially, but probably lead us to the hour mark. What else did we have announced? Can't remember. But yeah, I think Damian Priest will retain. I think it's not the right time for Dolph Ziggler, and I don't think it's the right time for Damian Priest to lose it yet. They're just introducing, so this thing of Damian Priest having this anger, like annoyed side to him, that's quite new. They've just been introducing that recently. Before he's been a very sort of straight good guy, whereas this sort of like, oh, he could be bad, and he has this like mixed personality bad side to him. That's quite new. So I feel like they want to build that a little bit before it costs him anything. So I suspect he'll still retain Wally. That's my bet. And so far, I've been dangerously correct. Come on, Danny. We got this. Do you know what? I'm just going to, while we're at the ad break, might have a little, I'm going to message Lee, just ask him if he's still down for doing that video, because I saw looking. What a man Lee is, by the way. I'm literally only saying this for, I mean, Scott, you probably know Lee is as well, but I'm just saying this just in general. Lee, what a man. So, Damian Priest versus Dolph Ziggler. I feel like Royal Rumble is going to be interesting. Now Brock has the championship, that gives a different sort of spin to everything. We obviously have the main event coming up, Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Big E. And whoever wins that goes on to face Brock. But unless it's Bobby Lashley who wins, I don't know if anyone has a chance of beating Brock. Which means if we are getting this champion versus champion match, that all of a sudden makes it very interesting, the Royal Rumble, because whoever wins the Royal Rumble faces a champion of their choice at Mania. But if it's the both of the champions are facing each other at WrestleMania, then what does the Royal Rumble winner have? It's just intriguing to me. There's a lot of intriguing nonsense going on, and I don't know which way we're going yet. I don't know which way we're going. There's a lot of hype over tomorrow's show on NXT. The NXT 2.0 show. That's New Year's Evil. Tommaso Ciampa versus versus your boy Bron Breakker, who is if you're an old school wrestling fan or even one from the 90s or 2000s, Scott Steiner's nephew, Scott Steiner's brother Rick Steiner, who they were in the Steiners tag team. That's Rick Steiner's son, Bron Breakker. And he looks and sounds and moves like a Steiner. But they're, of course, the Steiner brothers back in the day, a long time ago. And then Scott Steiner was in WWE as well in the early 2000s and late 90s and WCW and all that stuff. We come back to the match anyway, and it is Damian Priest on the attack on Dolph Ziggler. He's putting it on him right now. Straight into the ring post, and Dolph goes with that big running knee. It's a big hit. Uno, dos. It's 2 count. 2 count for Dolph Ziggler. Flying in, hits Priest with the knee. Only for a 2 count. Dolph Ziggler now trying to just put it on Priest, trying to anger him, trying to get him actively disqualified. Don't know how smart that is. You could just attack him instead, mate, and try and win him, beat him, instead of just sitting there and trying to annoy him into losing. But hey, I'm not Dolph Ziggler, former World Heavyweight Champion, to be fair. But Priest fights back, and then with a big old pump kick to the chin, gets Ziggler into a difficult position. He's got him up. Big DDT from over the shoulder. 1, 2. It's 2 count. 2 count, a big pendulum swinging DDT type thing off the shoulder. It's nice, to be fair. It was nice stuff. Priest now climbing to the top of the ropes. He can fly, but it's always scary. It's like when Kane or Undertaker go to the top. There's always a bit of fear. Ziggler zooms up to the top, all athletic-like, looking for a superplex. Can't quite get it. He's trying. Damian Priest is holding on for dear life onto the ropes. Spins off, forces Ziggler down. Big kick to the side of their head over the top rope, and now he goes up once again to the top turnbuckle. Damian Priest. Oh, Robert Roode. Robert Roode out of nowhere. The Dirty Dogs tag team partner. 6 hit. It's the famous. It's hit 1, 2. Oh, and a kick out from Damian Priest. That could have been it. Dolph hitting one of his finishers at least on Damian Priest, who was on the top rope. His tag team partner, Robert Roode, out of nowhere, takes Priest out, pushes him down. Ziggler steps up, gets the famouser on the distraction, only for a 2 count. Very, very close. That could have been it. And now Priest has noticed Robert Roode. He's angry, turns around and just clobbers Ziggler and then goes after Roode. The Glorious One gets absolutely done in on the outside of the ring. And here it is. This is what we're talking about. The count out or disqualification. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. He's got the... Priest has the steel chair in hand. Listen, if he hits Roode, that shouldn't be a disqualification. But the count out could happen. He's seen the count out. He goes to hit him, but he calms down and instead goes in with the chair. Ziggler screams, "Hit me." He's begging. That mad con before him. He's begging. And now Roode is screaming, screaming to hit him. And instead gets absolutely done in with the chair. The zigzag does get hit though. This could be it. This could legit be it. 1, 2. Dolph Ziggler has hit both of his finishers on Damian Priest and neither have finished him off. There's no way Dolph Ziggler can win this, surely. After that, both finishers, both of his signature moves, the zigzag and the famouser, and both times a kick out. Priest has to retain. He has to, surely. But Ziggler's setting him up for maybe a super kick. He goes for it. Oh, nice reversal. The Reckoning, he hits it. This should be it. No one kicks out the Reckoning. 1, 2, 3. It's done. Damian Priest does retain the United States Championship after a nice reckoning on Dolph Ziggler. Both him and Roode tried their hardest to get him disqualified. Again, I feel like instead of screaming, "Hit me with the chair," just kick him in the face, mate. But he doesn't. He tries his hardest. He tries very, very hard to get Priest disqualified or counted out. It doesn't work out, and Priest retains once more. Roode and Ziggler just cannot do it. Just cannot do it. I'm right again. Listen, you don't watch this stuff non-stop for no reason. Oh, Vince McMahon's here, ladies and gentlemen. And in comes Austin Theory. Who's been doing bits with Vince for a while. They've been doing these bits where, like, Vince is, like, inspiring Austin Theory to be a bit of a ragamuffin. Here we are. Yet again. Good fun, gotta go. Thank you very much, Wally. Good to see you, bro. Have a good one. I need to get you on Spanners before the end of the year, before the end of the season again. I'm trying to sort out the list at the moment. I'm trying to get really far ahead of myself because I'm terrible. So I will get you on again at some point. But good to see you, bro. Have a good one. Enjoy yourself. Bye. Vince McMahon looking more and more like a toad as years go on. This is so weird. Because it's live. That's what makes it weirder. He announces Austin Theory will be in the Royal Rumble. Austin Theory made up about this. Doesn't know how to deal with it. Again, could have probably, if we're being honest, just announced himself to be in the Royal Rumble. But no, that's not happened. But there we go. Out to the ring now are The Miz and Maurice. Of course, on Saturday at day one, Miz was facing Edge in a decent contest until Maurice tried to get involved, and then out came Beth Phoenix, looking, I'm going to be honest, quite scary, and chased Maurice off for enough for Edge to hit a big old spear and end it 1, 2, 3. So we're going to see what they have to say after the ad break. But we'll see where that one's going. We're getting a lot of announcements for the Royal Rumble now. Day one's over. We're getting a lot of people announcing for the Royal Rumble. Will The Miz be one of them? We'll see. I should say, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the stream. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you so much if you've watched any of it at any point. It means a lot. I do this wrestling channel every day now. That's a new thing I'm doing. I'm putting a hell of a lot of effort into this. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on anything. Because not only will we have watch-alongs for Raw and SmackDown this week, but we will also have watch-alongs for AEW Dynamite on Wednesday and AEW Rampage straight after SmackDown in a bumper, mega, uber long watch-along. That's going to be madness. So make sure to get involved. And there's going to be videos in between. Welcome to A Top Mark. I do wrestling videos every single day. That's the goal on this channel. Every single day. Starting at day one. We did an extra video and then today. And then we got another one coming up tomorrow. And then we got the watch along on Wednesday. It just keeps going. So if you're not ready, make sure to subscribe. I genuinely appreciate it. But if you don't, thank you very much for coming regardless. It's been a decent show so far. A lot of very, very quick matches, as is the way with Monday Night Raw. But it's been a decent show. We can't act like it hasn't. Ziggler Priest went the way it was. You had the stipulation giving it a bit more, a bit of something, but it wasn't quite as good a straight match as those two people could have. But we're all building up. We're probably going to save a lot of time for this main event, the Fatal 4-Way. You can see, if you're in the live chat now, you can see there's a poll on the side. It's Lashley, Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. Who will be the number one contender? If you win the Fatal 4-Way tonight, you will, of course, go on to face Lesnar at the Rumble. Currently winning that is Bobby Lashley with 41%, then Big E with 35%. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens are then tied for 12% each. So if you haven't, get your votes in. We'll end that poll just before the main event starts. And we'll see what you think. My gut is saying Bobby Lashley. My gut is very much at this point saying Bobby Lashley. I can't see anything other than that. Still, we'll see where it goes. So Miz, potentially Miz promo. See what happens. Like I said, I'm intrigued to see where that storyline goes to some extent. It's obviously building up to a mixed tag match, whether that's at Mania or whether that's at Royal Rumble, I guess is the question. It will be Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. That just makes sense when you look at it. That just makes perfect sense. It can't not. It's just when it happens. Royal Rumble feels right, but then you don't get the moment of Edge being in the Royal Rumble. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But maybe you have to, because you don't want Edge to be a guy who's going to win. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Big week of wrestling, big month of wrestling, of course, leading up to the Royal Rumble, which we will be doing a watch along for as well. That's on Saturday the 29th this year of January, starting and kicking off the road to WrestleMania, as they like to call it, which we'll be doing watch alongs for all along the way, as well as the AEW ones. We have Revolution coming up soon. We've got Revolution coming up, I think it's in February. I think it's February. So we're leading up to that as well with AEW. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. And like I said, I've got some other interesting ideas, some quiz stuff, there's a lot of bits going on coming up. Anyway, so The Miz and Maurice are in the ring now, holding the mic. as we do get the we're getting the follow through of the match, the update of what happened, of course, day one, which I did do a watch along for. If you really want to interested, you can go and have a look at that if you want as well. I mean, it'd be quite a long-winded way of watching and finding out what happened. But hey, I'm not going to complain if you want to do it. I'm not going to complain if you want to do it. Edge did go for the spear at one point. The Miz jumped over it, tweaks his knee to distract the referee, where Maurice smacks Edge upside the head with a handbag to try and get the win. The skull crushing finale gets hit, but Edge kicks out at 2. At which point Beth Phoenix, looking angry, dressed angry, the hairdresser made her angry. She's come out and she just straight away goes for Maurice. And then, while Miz is trying to stop Beth Phoenix from, let's be honest, just destroying his wife, Edge, big spear, 1, 2, 3, easy as you like. You're not kicking out of a spear. It's Edge. It's Edge. He has an Unreal theme song. Not happening. Not happening. So here we go. Miz and Maurice in the ring now for their promo. The crowd booing as per usual because, again, it's the Miz. You can't not. You can't not. Miz says they stand together in outrage over what happened at day one. Says that he had Edge in the right place. He says if he hit one more skull crushing finale, it would have been done. He would have won it. And yet, it didn't happen. He says he finds it amazing that he has to continuously repeat and remind people that he was the first ever and only 2-time Grand Slam champion in the company. Says that makes him one of the best, one of the greats. Yet that sarcastically says he still has to prove himself in a match against Edge, a 1-time Grand Slam champion. That's uno in French. He says some questionable refereeing decisions and luck kept Edge in that match until he kicked out and he saw the look in Edge's eyes of defeat. Says he wants to call his mummy, or in Edge's case, his wife, and said he was about to lay him to rest before Beth Phoenix turned up. The crowd very excited by the mention of Beth Phoenix. Maurice sort of, you know what I mean? Miz says he knows her as someone who allowed Edge to steal a pathetic victory off him and says that Edge deserved to lose. That he knows it, everyone in the crowd knows it, and says that he can show it and prove it because of what happened last week. We cut to a package from highlights from last week, from the wedding vows renewals, from Edge, from Miz and Maurice, of which Edge came out, interrupted, the Brood theme started playing, and then Brood blood, gunk, some nonsense, fell from the rafters onto Miz and Maurice in their white dresses, and Eric Bischoff, who was also there. We cut back to the ring, both of them looking very annoyed. Both Miz and Maurice have a sort of look on their face. Miz has finally got the crowd back into this, by the way. He asks the crowd if they like it, which they say yes, and he says that's because you like good things happening, bad things happening to good people, and says but you can't stop them because true love always wins. I'd be intrigued again to see where this ends up going. You feel like it's got to be a Royal Rumble match between the four of them, right? It's got to be, right? Getting very panto right now. Getting very panto. The Miz says he doesn't respect Edge. You can't respect him because he hid behind his wife, and what kind of man does that? To which the crowd go, you! And he goes, no. It's incredibly panto. He has the kids in his crowd wrapped around his little finger. Maurice says if Beth Phoenix was here tonight, she would punch her right in the face. And as expected, cue Beth Phoenix's music. Beth Phoenix looking equally angry. Well, not, she looks quite calm about the situation. She doesn't look angry, but she's definitely got angry looking hair. You know what I mean? The side braids and the big puffy middle bit like it's the 80s. And then You Think You Know Me hits and out comes Edge. Sprinting with just pure pace. What a theme song. You just got... It's just such a banging theme song, isn't it? It's just such a good theme song. Like, I've been listening to this song for maybe... at least once, like, even when Edge wasn't wrestling, at least once a week for what? A decade? 15 years? Not bored of it. So good. Captain Toya, good to see you. I really hope Lashley wins. I think he will. I'm pretty confident he will. I want Big E to win. I love Big E, and so I can't not want him to win. But Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble is a big match. That feels huge. And that feels like the match that would be like the most insane to see, you know what I mean? So, and I think it will be Lashley. I think that's the way they're going. I don't know if you watched day one at the end, there was lots of shots between the two of them looking at each other sort of thing. I think it's got to happen, right? Beth turns around to Maurice and asks, you were saying after she said she would punch Beth Phoenix if she was here. And Maurice doesn't. She doesn't hear. She don't want none. Edge says most people would take the L and move on to The Miz. But unfortunately, he knows The Miz better than that. And knew that he would come out and moan and complain and whine about what happened on Saturday at day one. Edge just trying to get the crowd into this as much as possible with a cheeky little cheat pop. He did a sports reference. It didn't hit. So now he's just gone with the word South Carolina to get people hyped. The crowd cheer for a second and says, does he need to show how much of a hypocrite The Miz is? He says, for once The Miz is speechless. The crowd cheer it. Again, this match at Royal Rumble makes sense. Would be pretty cool to see as well. See Beth Phoenix and Beth Phoenix back in there. Maurice could do it as well. Oh, that'd be exciting. I'd be up for that. She says what happens at day one was all her idea, does Beth. And Edge wants to say if you want to rectify it, then he has an idea. He can give him what he wants. And says, in quite a creepy way, actually will give you what you want, which is a bit weird. He says, imagine it. Huge lights on a marquee, the it couple, Miz and Maurice, versus the rated R superstar, Edge, and the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix. The grit couple, which is what they were tweeting about on social media. If they had the match, I would say Brock would retain, but they would have an extended feud, and it would have a rematch at WrestleMania 38 where Lashley would win. That's a good shout, to be fair. That's a good shout. I feel like they really want to have Roman Reigns versus Brock at WrestleMania. Like, it just feels like, especially after they didn't have the match last night, it feels like that's where it's going. Especially if it's this idea of like a champion versus champion match, whether or not it's for both titles or unification or anything. I feel like that's the way it would happen, right? But I would love to see that. I mean, Bobby Lashley beating Brock Lesnar feels right. You know what I mean? It feels something. It was weird when Brock won. I was like, who can beat Brock Lesnar? But Bobby Lashley feels like someone who could conceivably do it. I think you're probably right, Captain Toyo, to be fair. I think you're probably right. While they build up to this feud a little bit more, I should say, if you haven't already, everyone watching, by the way, thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. I would appreciate it. The Miz trying to hype it up, saying, is this something you really think we should do? And then he accepts, much to Maurice's dismay. The Miz has accepted it under pressure from the crowd. Big yes, yes, yes vibes. He has accepted. Maurice is very not happy about it. They're arguing in the middle of the ring. The grit couple, as it were, are just talking to them. And Beth Phoenix feigns a punch, to which Maurice goes flying backwards. There's no actual connection, but she just threatens to do it. Maurice goes flying backwards, and all of a sudden, it's happening. The Royal Rumble. Miz and Maurice versus the grit couple, Edge and Beth Phoenix. It's official. We felt like it was happening after Saturday. We now get confirmation that that is the case. That is now the case. Maurice and Miz are still arguing their way back up the ramp, but it is definitely happening. Kevin Patrick now talking to Big E backstage. We've got just over 45 minutes left of the show. We have the main event still to come. That is, of course, Big E versus Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens in a number one contendership match. Patrick asking there how confident he is of winning the match. Big E says that being the WWE champion did mean a lot to him. Said it meant a lot to a lot of people too, not just him. He says there's no shame in losing to Brock Lesnar, but what we don't do is get kicked and stay down. He says we don't wallow in self-pity, because what we do is make sure that our next chapter is our best chapter. And tonight, he has the opportunity to right the wrongs. Because tonight, he starts his path back to reclaiming what's his, the WWE Championship. Big E coming in with all the fire. He says he said he was damned if there is a soul on earth who could stop him. Coming through with all of the fire, Big E, looking like an absolute beast. I think he was done harshly, but there we go. He's getting his opportunity tonight. We'll see how it plays out. Before that, though, of course, we have AJ Styles versus Omos for the first time. Out comes AJ first. I can't see past an Omos win here. Fire. I know that was an absolute... Big E, man. He's so good. Big E is so good in so many different ways. What a man. Out comes AJ Styles for their match versus Omos. That will be next on Monday Night Raw. But before that, we have a cheeky ad break. Again, I can't see this going any other way other than Omos. It's got to be Omos. It just has to be. But what a brilliant promo from Big E there. We've had promos from everyone in this match leading up to it, like we did on Saturday night for the day one, where we had a lot of we had promos in all the way. But we just get a SmackDown promo who are asking what's next for the Universal Championship. Now Brock's won the WWE Champion, saying we'll find out on Friday. So they go. We had promos in the lead up to the Fatal 5-Way, as it were, at day one as well. But out of all the ones tonight, Big E showing the most fire. You know, Kevin and Seth had their conversation about trying to team up once again. You had the Bobby Lashley promo, which ended with him saying he can beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar fears Bobby Lashley. But that was absolute fire from Big E. Absolute just killer promo. But there we go. When it comes back from the ad break, we will have AJ Styles versus Omos. I'm predicting an Omos win on that one. I've got every single match correct so far tonight. I don't think it's gonna stop here. Yeah, it has to be Omos, right? Right? It has to be. We'll see. Maybe not. And then we'll have the Fatal 4-Way match. Which I think will be Lashley. Although again, I mean, you do have this X factor of Rollins and Owens working together. They tease the sort of will they, won't they trust thing going on, which I suspect will end up in a sort of, they'll work together until towards the end where they'll sort of start fighting against each other. Even though it's not in their best interest at all. Big E, will he get another opportunity? I feel bad for Big E. I really do think he should have. I do think he deserved better. And it's one of those things where, like, he's in an awkward situation where he's lost the title now, but he's not really going to get the opportunity at a rematch because of the way it's all ended up playing out. It feels like he probably won't get that opportunity. He has enough time to win it back, to be fair. You know, in his career, he will get opportunities to challenge for a heavyweight championship or world heavyweight championship, to be fair, but it does feel a little bit harsh. But Bobby Lashley, it just feels too right. I feel like AJ would use Eddie Guerrero tactics to beat Omos. You're not wrong. I mean, if he's going to win, that's the way it's going to happen, right? He's not going to be able to outpower Omos. Like, you think even if he hits like a phenomenal forearm after phenomenal forearm, I don't think he's going to be able to beat Omos. Can he even get Omos up for a Styles clash? I don't think he can. I think if he's going to, it would have to be Eddie Guerrero tactics. I just don't know whether Omos is going to lose. I just can't see him losing, at least for a bit. I can't see him losing. But then again, if he's going to lose to anyone, it would be AJ. You lose to AJ, set it up for a Royal Rumble match maybe? Or for both of them going into the Royal Rumble and facing each other in the Rumble itself? I don't know. It would have to be Eddie Guerrero style, wouldn't it? Cheeky slip up like boots that run tired or something. We'll see. But we are back now, and Omos is making his way to the ring. And here he is, all 400 feet tall of him. Styles in the ring looking scared there as the 400-pound man strides to the ring. Corey putting him over there saying, this industry has seen many giants, but none of them quite as athletic as Omos, which is probably accurate. I mean, he's one of the more athletic big men you're ever going to see in that sense, to be fair. Big boy versus small boy. Yeah. And small boy going to get run over. Small boy going to get boot to the head. Look how big he is. He's wearing a jacket like my dad used to wear. Listen, you want a guy to make Omos look like a beast. AJ Styles is it. He's going to get thrown around like nobody's business. The bell rings. And the two men meet in the center of the ring. AJ Styles legitimately goes up to Omos's nipples. It's insane. And instantly he's going straight for the lower. He's going straight for the legs. Quick kicks, but overpower does Omos into the turnbuckle. AJ with a quick reversal tries to hit him with the chops and a couple of punches, but Omos just powers through, just walking almost completely through AJ Styles' blows. But he's forced to the outside. AJ can't even look like he can damage Omos right now. He's trying to tempt him into the outside of the ring, which he does. Omos falls for it, starts coming in. AJ kicks him in the calf. Oh, a big boot by Omos. He bounced off the ropes. AJ comes back in an attempt to attack him, and just a huge boot. Classic big boot maneuver from the big man. And AJ's down. And now a splash to AJ, who's up in the corner now, up against the turnbuckles. He's going to be thrown across the ring at some point. Irish whip into the bottom of the ring post. There's Irish whip from Omos across the ring. AJ rolls under the bottom rope straight into the bottom of the ring post. That looked just painful, af. Let's go AJ. Let's go AJ. Let's get a bit of AJ love in the chat. Come on, I back it. Omos jumps outside the ring, just throws him back in, and in he goes back into the squared circle to take on AJ once more, who's just trying to survive. It looks like at this point. Low kick again, looking to work that sort of lower left leg which he's aimed for previously. Nice combinations from AJ. Ends up with a big lariat. It's got Omos shaking, but it was a nice combination. Omos then just runs at him, hoists him up onto his shoulders. AJ manages to roll out. Hits a quick reversal, big boot to the face from AJ. Trying to build up a bit of momentum here. Oh, a nice second boot up over the turnbuckle does AJ. Hits him with a forearm. Looking maybe for the phenomenal. He's looking to bounce off. Omos stops him, catches him on the top ropes. But AJ with a nice reversal catches him, pulls him down over the top ropes. And all of a sudden Styles has got a good opportunity here, looking for this phenomenal forearm. In midair. Omos just swats him back down, says no. And you feel like that was maybe the opportunity. In midair, going for the phenomenal forearm, just chopped out of the sky, does Omos. If anyone deserves to beat Omos, it's AJ, because he just showed Omos the ropes and took him under his wing. Listen, I agree. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen right now. I mean, Omos has AJ up on his shoulders and just slams him down. Easy as you like. A gorilla press off the shoulders, down the front way. AJ getting hoisted back up now by Omos, who just has this completely under control. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything here. Up he goes. Back down. Choke slam by Omos, double-handed. Throws AJ just down. Limp. Lifeless. 1, 2, 3. It's done. Omos does indeed get the victory. Unsurprisingly, the gigantic man that is Omos gets the win. Oof, indeed. It's done. It's over. A huge gorilla press slam by Omos, followed up by a double-handed choke slam. Just ends AJ's style in dominant fashion. Dominant fashion. And we have it. Omos gets his win. Omos beats his former tag team partner, the man who turned on him, looks absolutely dominant in the process. Where will he go from here? You suspect the Rumble is the next stop for Omos? Will he have a feud between now and then? I don't know, but you suspect the Rumble is the next spot for him. Will he win that? I doubt it, but a dominant showing. It's going to take at least a couple of men to get that man out. Dominant victory from Omos there. Dominant victory. As we get a recap of what happened at the beginning of the night when Brock Lesnar came out to celebrate his WWE Championship win with Paul Heyman. You should make a video about a list of people who could possibly beat Omos. It's not a bad idea. I'll put it on my list, actually. I've got a list of video ideas. I'll write it down on there. It's not a bad idea. And if I do it, I'll make sure to credit you, Captain. Captain, my captain, I'll make sure to credit you. Where's my list? I can write on my other one. There we go. I've written it down on my list. And if I do it, I'll make sure to credit you. It's actually not a bad idea. It's actually not a bad idea. And here come the entrances for the main event. It is Kevin Owens out first. The first out here is Kevin Owens. Of course, this is the main event. This is Kevin Owens versus Big E versus Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. I think I said one of them twice there. I definitely did. But the winner of this will go on to face Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. If you do want to get your votes in the poll, now is the final time to do it. When the bell rings, I will end the poll. We'll see who the chat thinks will win. Currently, Bobby Lashley is winning with 45% of the vote. Big E is second with 30%. Seth Rollins with 15%. And then Kevin Owens with 10%. We'll see. My prediction for the match will be Bobby Lashley. I agree with Captain Toei, who's saying Lashley. I'm agreeing. I think it will be Lashley. But if you want to get your votes in, make sure to do so now in the poll in the chat. It's got to be Big E or it's got to be Bobby Lashley, and I just can't see it being Big E right now. I think it's Lashley's time. It feels like the right time for Ashley to go for it now, unfortunately. Like I say, I wish it was Big E. If I choose who I wanted to, I think I would want Big E to be the boy. But who do I think it will be? I think it will be Lashley. He almost had Brock Lesnar at day one. He had him in the Hurt Lock. He'd hit him with the spear. He'd hit him with the Hurt Lock. It looked like it could be done and dusted before Big E came and stopped him from getting the dub. And then, of course, got hit with big ending and everything else. It might come down to those two. Rollins and Owens maybe take each other out. They turn on each other, and it does end up being E versus Lashley at the end to see who gets the win. But I can't see past Lashley. It'd be really bad to have choice by WWE if WWE don't have Lashley win, because that's a really big draw. Yeah. I mean, Lashley has an element of like realness to it that it would be interesting, you know. Both people who left WWE when they were really young and doing big things to go and do MMA, you know, both had huge success there. One in Bellator, one in UFC. Both came back after years of doing big things, and Lashley hasn't had the momentum yet. In WWE. It's taken a while for them to get there. He's had false starts. He had a good thing going with Leo Rush, but it never quite fully reached its potential. The Hurt Business, when he got the title, it was like all of a sudden it was like, oh my god, Lashley's here. This feels like the most dangerous Bobby Lashley has ever felt in WWE. And if you're saying which one of those men feels most dangerous, which one of these men in this match is most likely to be able to beat Brock Lesnar, you would say Bobby Lashley. I agree with you. I think it's a big draw. I think you can lean on the MMA stuff. I think you see those two men standing against each other in the ring at Royal Rumble. That's a big deal. I don't know what happens with Big E at that point. Like I say, I think it sucks that he won't get his rematch. He'll have to go and do something else for a while. I don't know what it will be. But Lashley versus... In this situation, WWE right now, I don't know if they can pick anything other than Lashley versus Brock. It's a dream match too. Yeah, you're 100% correct. I mean, like when Lashley came back, after he came back from Impact, and when Brock was about every single time that conversation has always come up, Lashley versus Brock. It feels like it's got to happen. It does feel like it has to happen. I just can't see it not at this point. But just before we get into it here, I'll make sure to remind you, thank you very much for joining me. If you have at all, I really do appreciate it. My aim in 2022 is to do a video every single day on this channel. I have watch-alongs for the rest of the week for SmackDown on Friday. And then, hey, if you like AEW, I'm doing one for Dynamite on Wednesday. And then after SmackDown, I'll be going straight in to the Rampage one as well. So if you want to get involved, I really would appreciate if you subscribe and like the video, because that really helps it out. And come back again. Make sure to hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything, because I've got tons of ideas. A video a day for me by myself creating everything is a lot. It's a lot to do. So if you want to get involved, I would more than genuinely appreciate you coming along. So subscribe, like the video, all of that good stuff. As we get into the main event here, next week they're announcing Alexa Bliss's journey back to Raw will be next week after Charlotte's decimation of the doll at Extreme Rules a couple of months back. But here we go. The main event, Kevin Owens is in the ring. Kevin Owens is in the ring, ready for beef. Up next to come into the ring is Big E himself, the former champion, the man who was pinned by Brock Lesnar after 2 F5s at day 1. Out comes Big E. Took like 10 million years for Alexa to return. Yeah, it took way longer than I thought it was going to be. I assumed she was like having a holiday or something. I don't know, but it took her way longer to return than I thought it would. But she will be back. And it doesn't even sound like she might be back. It says the journey for her to come back. So it might not even be she's back wrestling next week. She might just be here. I don't know. Might just be like a promo video. I don't know. We'll find out next week, I guess. Here comes Big E is in the ring now, facing down with Kevin. Burn it down. Sounds across South Carolina as Seth Rollins makes his way to the ring next. The man who Kevin Owens has had a little deal going on here. Got a little deal going on here. Will they or won't they? They say they're gonna team up together. They did do so pretty effectively at day 1 before Brock Lesnar gave them both F5s into oblivion. But Seth freaking Rollins does walk to the ring now, and they did agree to have to team up once more in this match. There was an element of doubt as to whether that will stay around, as you would expect. Can they coexist? But right now, Kevin Owens is applauding his current friend, at least, to the ring. Seth freaking Rollins, indeed. The visionary, yes. The visionary. I'm Lashley fan of 101. I respect that, to be fair. He's really good. Especially, like, when I watched him doing his stuff. So I never liked him the first time around. I was never really sold on him. But then, when he went off to TNA and Impact and did his stuff there, I was like, oh no, actually, he's really good. He's really good. And now he's got this momentum going in WWE. I'm very happy to see, because I think he's something else. And here he comes. He's got such a cool entrance video. The almighty Bobby Lashley is on his way. Is on his way to the ring. MVP by his side. He said earlier in the night, Brock Lesnar fears me. He doesn't fear Brock Lesnar. Out comes the almighty Bobby Lashley. Cut to the ring. You can see Big E standing by himself. You've got Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins talking, discussing tactics. Bobby marching his way to the ring. Big E cutting a lonely figure. Fear Bobby. Bobby Lashley, the real beast slayer. That's a. It would just be huge, wouldn't it? It would just be huge. And there he is. All of the pyro in full effect. And after this ad break, we will get the main event to kick off. This is, again, once more, your last opportunity to vote in the poll. Who will be the number 1 contender after this match? Will it be Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, or Bobby Lashley? I'm going to run and get a drink very quickly. Give me a second. While I'm... Actually, wait. Can I... while I'm out. Danny will keep you company. If you have any questions, ask Danny. My man, he's an intelligent geezer. Hello. We're back. We're back for the main event, thankfully. I made it. Danny, why are you so short? I was accidentally. Listen. He's very short, but what he lacks in height, he makes up for in heart. You know? He's a wonderful man. Who's always supportive of the boys. He's always supportive of the boys. Still. Right, let's see what we're going to add. A title unification match between Brock and Roman at WrestleMania 38 would be interesting, but I don't think that will happen anytime soon. I'm intrigued to see what ends up happening and where it goes, right? Like, realistically, I felt like there was lots of rumors and reports and everything else that it was going to be Brock and Roman. They wanted to keep it going for longer. They didn't want it to finish yet. They wanted it to keep going. And so if that was the case, you would imagine that Brock Lesnar probably would have had to beat Roman at day one if he didn't obviously go down with COVID. And so in that case, maybe they do really see this as happening sooner rather than later. I don't know. I don't know if they will do a title unification match or whether it will just be champion versus champion. And the promo at the beginning of the show, which Brock Lesnar cut, where he said, what was it? What did he say? He said something along the lines of, I'm the real champion. I'm the true champion or something like that. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Like, if that's the way they want to go from it, that's the sort of thing they would put in the promo. That's the sort of thing they would play over and over again. Who knows? Not to be offensive, but why does Danny look like a farm? Look, how dare you? He's a lovely man. He's a lovely, beautiful man, and he's my friend at all times. And the belt has gone. Straight away, we got Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins fighting on the outside. Kevin Owens and Big E fighting on the inside. This is going to be a lot going on. Why does Danny look like a thumb? How dare you, sir? And we'll end the live chat vote there. It does end with Bobby Lashley getting 45% of the votes. That's who the people who've been watching it today have felt like. It's going to be Bobby Lashley. He had 44% in the end. Big E had 30. Seth Rollins had 15. And Kevin Owens had 10. Thank you very much if you voted. But here we go. The match is gone. The match is on the way. Big E with a huge diving spear through the ropes. Always terrifies me a little bit, like he's going to die. But he does it on Kevin Owens and he's down. Kevin Owens is injured. Well, he's probably not injured, but he's in pain at least. In the meantime, the almighty Bobby Lashley had Seth Rollins up on his shoulders, just charging him into the ring post. And here we go. It's Bobby Lashley and Big E in the middle of the ring, facing down against each other. MVP very excited by this fact, and as am I. This is you want a big match. This is also one that could do bits. Big E getting the opening blows in as both of them go toe to toe. Big forearms, big right hands. Bobby Lashley takes control. Big E kip ups over the top of him and then a big back elbow to Bobby Lashley, who comes back with an even bigger lariat. Clothesline, just takes out Big E. And now he has Big E up. He's muscled him up for a big old suplex. But Kevin Owens comes in and goes straight for Lashley and gets a swinging net breaker for his troubles. And now Bobby Lashley looking to try and suplex looking to probably suplex Kevin Owens here. And he does. He gets him up all the big. Kevin Owens is wobbling a little bit. Bobby Lashley spins on his way down, just powers him into a suplex. Dominant from Lashley. Captain Toei scenes in the chat. It's dominance for so far from the Almighty. And the crowd are chanting for Bobby here as Bobby Lashley goes straight through and goes flying through the barricade. Bobby Lashley was lining Kevin Owens up. Was lining Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins up for a spear through the barricade. I think it was Kevin Owens, but the other one, I think it's Seth Rollins, helps him, pulls him out of the way. And all of a sudden, Bobby Lashley is completely out of this game. And Kevin Owens is screaming at Seth Rollins to get Big E. And Seth Rollins is not concentrating at all. Big E, big belly-to-belly suplex out of the gates. And now he's going after Kevin Owens, smashes his head off the announce table. And he's cleaning house. He wants space. MVP's off to talk about Bobby Lashley, trying to help him out here as Big E is collecting it, making space. He put Bobby Lashley through this announce table at the pay-per-view. He's trying to do it again now here with Seth Rollins. He has him in the position for the slam, but Kevin Owens comes in quickly. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens are working well as a team so far, and they both equally just drive Big E into the ring apron, the ring post, and now they start throwing and putting the broken barricade over Bobby Lashley. Kevin Owens just taking a swing at MVP's cane there. Uncalled for, mate. Uncalled for. And now Big E. Oh, they're looking for the powerbomb. They're looking for the Shield-esque powerbomb on Big E through the announce table. Big E's up. And Big E's down and straight through it. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens teamwork there for a Shield-style powerbomb straight through the announcer's table as we go to the ad break. Bobby Lashley is down after spearing himself through the barricade. Big E is down after being slammed just straight through a table with a big old powerbomb, and left standing while we go to ad break is Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, whose teamwork has been, it was effective at day one, but it's been twice as effective here. Huge powerbomb. Big E died. Big E did not look okay. Big E did not look okay. Will Kevin Owens, this is the story, will Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins be able to stay together? Will they be able to keep their teamwork going? That's the question. They said they were going to team until it was just those two, and then they were going to have a fair fight, and then whoever wins, the other one would support in trying to beat Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble, and then whoever would win that, then they could go on to face each other at WrestleMania together. So there's a level here of will they, won't they, it's happening. They look like they're in complete control of this match. Bobby Lashley down outside the ring. Like Lesnar was until he popped back in the main event on Saturday. Big E taken out like Lashley was until the end of the main event through the table. What's going to happen? Probably not, but think they're using each other and they're teaming up for the advantage. Yeah, I don't think it will last. I should say that. I don't think it will last. I think they'll start. It's gonna break down. It's gonna break down in this match, my opinion. I don't think they'll keep it going. It breaks down, then they start having a fight. That's what I think will happen. That's what I think will happen. And eventually turn on each other. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I can't. They got, like, the bit before when they were doing the promos backstage and they had the conversation and Seth was like, I know I can trust you. And Kevin went, yeah, I know I can trust you. And then as Seth walks away, he sort of had a bit of a look on his face and Kevin was like, I can trust you, right? It's happening. It's happening. They're turning on each other. They're 100% going to turn on each other. But when is the question? Like I say, coming back from ad break, they seem to be in complete control of this match. Will Big E or Lashley have had any time to recover? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're currently at ad break. We're just waiting for it to come back. It seems like it's about to. Screw it, I'll say it one more time while we're here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Get involved. Appreciate it. But we are about to come back from ad break here. We'll see where it all lies. Where it all lies. We're getting the last in the UK. We're getting the last advert for BT Sport there before we come back to WWE now. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. Have Seth and Kevin managed to stay calm in this meantime? They have, but we come back and Bobby Lashley is mauling Seth Rollins. But him and Kevin Owens are trying to fight away Bobby Lashley on the outside of the ring. And Bobby Lashley's being rolled back into the ring now by the pair of them who have fought off what looked like a valiant attempt to beat them by Bobby Lashley. Big E is also down. He's inside the ring, but he is down he's down and not looking good whatsoever. We're looking back at the replay now. The duo tag team powerbomb Shield-esque from Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, and then during a commercial break, Bobby Lashley, who'd got up after spearing himself through that barricade, looked like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins tag teamed. Big old hit with the steel steps on Bobby Lashley, and then just like they did at day one with Brock Lesnar, Seth held Bobby down as Kevin Owens off the ring apron hits a lovely frog splash. And they are both completely in control of this match here. They're both teaming up on Bobby Lashley. Big E is still down in the ring. He did go to heaven. He's struggling right now. He's down in the ring. And a cannonball from Kevin Owens as the two of them celebrate how effective this tag team is. Big E slowly stirring, slowly getting back to his feet. Slowly getting back to his feet. And now Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins looking to do the exact same thing to Big E here. But a good catch. And a big slam. Before a super kick from Kevin Owens stops it, but then he gets absolutely cleared out with a big clothesline from Bobby Lashley to Kevin Owens. And now Bobby Lashley down on one knee is the only man vaguely on his feet here, gaining a little bit of composure back. Seth and Kevin try to lift each other up. Big E eyes locked firmly on Bobby Lashley. Lashley looking back at Big E. They're both standing up and starting to walk towards each other. Kevin and Seth, they look like they were going to leave it, but Big E and Bobby are both looking at Seth and Kevin, and now the chase is on. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens have run into the crowd in full pursuit. Go Bobby Lashley and Big E. They're flying their way up the ring, up the steps on either side of the crowd right now. There's no countouts, of course, because this is a fatal four-way, so these people are fighting to the back, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins are the first to go through the curtains into the backstage area, into the concourse. Kevin Owens and Big E are matching them. We are now in the concourse. We are 100% in the concourse. Big E being thrown into a bin. There's lights falling over. Staff don't know what's going on. Oh, God, Lashley's got Seth Rollins in the hurt lock right now. Kevin Owens with part of the bin just smacks Bobby Lashley, who looks more angry than he does damaged by it. And now Kevin Owens, he's by the WWE merch stand, goes to try and grab a Big E, who gets him in the slam. A huge slam. Just absolutely just slams Kevin Owens through the merch table. And we go to ad break again with Kevin Owens, who's gone through the merge table in the concourse. Big E and Lashley standing tall this time. Just going to the concourse. People out. Just having a big old look. The crowd have come out and just having a gander. They said not today, bro. They said not today. Kevin and Seth, they were standing aside. They were watching Biggie and Bobby. They were like, we got this. We're going to leave them to it. We're going to let them have their little moment. They can fight each other. But no, they looked at each other, and then they looked at Seth and Kevin, chased them up into the concourse. A little bit of a brawl later, and Kevin is through the table, the merch table. Seth Rollins is down after being put in the hurt lock for a significant amount of time. See what happens when we come back. We're at ad break right now, but it's all kicking off. It's all kicking off. Kevin got stunned, mate. Kevin got just absolutely done in there. Absolutely done in. You got respect, spam. You got respect, spam. We'll see where this one plays out. It feels. I can't see past Lashley right now. I can't see past Lashley, but we'll see. We'll see. It feels like they're building up to Big E and Lashley as the final showdown. Kevin got KO'd. Man got KO'd. He got obliterated. Like, done in. Pardon me. Like, done in. He got put through a table onto concrete. Not fun. Not fun. Big E returning the favour, just putting him through it. This feels slightly like the match that was. This is probably the match that was meant to happen last night. Sorry, not last night, on Saturday night. I'm so used to pay-per-views being on a Sunday, my brain's not working. It's of course Saturday, but it feels that way. Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens. Oh, it'd be so good. Kevin Owens does have a bit of the Stone Cold about him, doesn't he? They feel kind of similar in that way. Not he doesn't have the same sort of like do whatever he wants attitude, but they do have that kind of like swagger, the sort of black and white kind of attire, the stunners. Oof. I don't want to see Stone Cold ever wrestle again because he's got a bad neck and a bad knee, and I'm like, just relax, bro. Do your podcast, have a grand old time, have a chill time. At the same time, imagine it though. Imagine it. Here we go. We're almost back from ad break now. We left it, of course, with Bobby Lashley and Big E standing tall in the concourse after they brawled to the backstage area, with Kevin Owens having just been put through a table by Big E and Seth being taken out by the Hurt Lock. How will we return? How will we return? Will they be back in the ring? Will they be outside the building? What will be happening? But if he did return, it would be against Kevin. Yeah. Whatever he returned, it'll probably be against Roman, and Roman would beat him because WWE. But at the same time, yeah. And here we are. We're back now. I'm seeing the WWE logo. Come on, BT. Come on. Nope, we're getting an advert for NXT 2.0's tomorrow's show instead. New Year's Eve tomorrow, of course. Exciting time. Exciting show. Some big matches. The triple threat for the women's championship looks pretty good. You've got the Tommaso Ciampa versus Bron Breakker. You've got Walter probably coming back. It's exciting time, but I can't be dealing with NXT 2.0 at the moment, so I'm not even going to do watch-alongs for it. Which says a lot. Still, it's not great, is it? We'll be real. Like, the card looks good, but the show has not been good for, well, it's not been good for a while, but still. We come back, and Bobby Lashley and Big E are currently brawling their way through the crowd. I think I saw Seth Rollins in the ring, but Big E and Lashley are currently brawling their way in around the backstage area. Well, in the crowd. Seth comes from out of nowhere. They're now fighting into an area that feels like Kevin Owens will jump off something onto them. I can't lie to you. That's kind of what I feel like is about to happen here. They're in an area which is by the crowd. The crowd are surrounding them. And there is Kevin Owens, who hits a big senton off the top. Clears everyone out in the meantime. An incredible jump from Kevin Owens. All three men taken out along with Kevin, who that looked painful as all hell. Not even a crossbody. Just a full-on senton. Just a full rotation from the crowd, jumps off a ledge about, 15 feet up in the air? completely takes out everyone. Seth Rollins maybe the least out of all of them. It looked like maybe Big E the most, but flipping heck, that looked painful. Flipping heck, that looked painful. And now Seth and Kevin teaming up, G'ing each other on. They're throwing Big E, who definitely took the worst of that, into the ring now. They've got him over the barricade, into the ring. Kevin and Seth are both going for it. This is awesome chants from the crowd. This is the main event we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. And now Kevin Owens up to the top rope. Hits the senton. Seth Rollins now up to the top as well. Hits a frog splash. 1, 2, and Big E kicks out. Kevin was celebrating. I'm really scared for Bobby right now. I feel you. He's not here. He's nowhere to be seen right now. Bobby Lashley is nowhere to be seen. We have the 3 other competitors in the ring. Bobby Lashley, nowhere. Nowhere. Somehow, Big E kicked out after the senton in the crowd, after a senton in the ring, after a frog splash from Seth Rollins, all in a row. Big E kicks out and is starting to fire up right now. Starting to fire up. Seth and Kevin giving each other instructions, figuring out what to do. And a double super kick to Big E as he was firing up, and Big E's down on all fours. Not fully down, but down on all fours, looking for the curb stomp. But Big E fights Owens off, gets him up for the big end, then maybe no, reversal. Looking for maybe a pop-up powerbomb, but again, no, he stops it and starts just laying in blows. Big pop-up powerbomb after the second one. 1, 2. And it's a kick out via Bobby Lashley, who comes back just in time, pushes Seth Rollins into Kevin Owens and Big E, breaking it up. And then a big belly-to-belly on Kevin Owens sends him flying from Bobby Lashley. A second one on Seth Rollins, just throwing men all over the shop. And now he's chasing Kevin Owens, and he's going for him here. Just a big old pounce from Bobby Lashley to Kevin Owens on the outside. And now, Bobby Lashley in control. Big E is down inside the area. Seth Rollins with a nice rolling forearm. But he goes straight into the big ending, no? And a huge spear on a huge spear from Bobby Lashley on Big E, a second one on Seth Rollins. Lashley's got the pace going right now. Kevin Owens with a big super kick. Hits him, looks for the stunner. Instead bounces off. Spear, a third one, a spear. 1, 2, 3. It's done and dusted. 3 spears from Bobby Lashley on all 3 competitors, and the Almighty wins. Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, is the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. He's going to Royal Rumble to face Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble in a huge, huge match. 3 spears, the first one to Big E, the second one to Kevin Owens, the third one to Seth Rollins. It's done. It's over. Bobby Lashley has won the main event and is the #1 contender to take on Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. After God knows how long, it's happening. It's happening. We are getting in the dream match. The big boys are going at it. Big meaty men slapping meat is a reality. It's just not Big E. Congratulations to the chat in general who got that one correct with the vote earlier. 40% of you got that one bang on. We're seeing replays of some of the highlights here. Kevin Owens with a huge dive from outside the area. There was a big match, that one. That was an excellent main event. We had people going through spears through barricades. We got 2 people put through different tables. Big E originally, then Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens doing a big dive from the outside, but a dominant display from Bobby Lashley in the end. Kevin Owens almost getting the spear, but hits. Kevin Owens always getting a stunner, but gets connected by a spear. Uno, dos, tres. It's done. It's over. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. The road to WrestleMania is underway, ladies and gentlemen, and a huge, huge match. A huge, huge match between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. It's now confirmed. Lashley celebrating in the ring with MVP now. Just celebrating with MVP. MVP ecstatic for his for his client. And we cut to the backstage area where we see Brock Lesnar holding the WWE Championship, watching a screen. And an interview at the end. Does Brock Lesnar have a comment? He says, do you have a comment? I do. Brock ends the show by saying he does have a comment. Tell Roman Reigns I will see him on Friday night on SmackDown. The Beast and the Almighty, two meaty men slapping meat. It's happening. A big victory for Bobby Lashley there, going through to the Royal Rumble to face Brock Lesnar. In a decent show. A decent show. Most matches sort of very quick, very nothingy matches, trying to just move storylines on, not a lot going on. But a huge main event. A show that will be remembered 100% for a massive main event. One which sees the almighty crowning. A dream match is happening, ladies and gentlemen, at the Royal Rumble. There you go. Big place. So there you go. So wait, Roman is returning. Apparently so. Apparently he's back on Friday night. Whether or not he's going to be there via camera, or whether he's going to be there or whether he's actually going to be there, I don't know. But apparently he is back, according to Brock, at least. According to Brock. Thank you very much for anyone who's joined today at any point. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Like I said, this is a brand new channel. I've only just started it on the 1st. There was a couple of videos beforehand that I'm testing stuff out, but now we're going full force. A video every single day on this channel is the aim. So make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you haven't already, so you don't miss anything. Thank you, Captain Toy, by the way, for being about in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much to some of the people who were around earlier as well. Wally World, Scott Venn, Rebecca, who was here for a bit. West Ham Clips was here. Shout out Clips. Thank you, Happy Hammerette. Thank you. Who else was here? There was someone else at the beginning. Who was it? Athers32 was here. Thank you very much to Declan Reese. Thank you very much. Ramit, who was here at the beginning as well. Sharky, Andromeda G. Thank you very much to everyone basically for turning up. I appreciate it. If you haven't already. Oh, Captain Toy is saying they subscribe. Thank you very much. If you don't need a bigger endorsement than Captain Toy subscribing, then what are you doing? Make sure to get involved. But thank you very much, bro. I genuinely appreciate it. And we'll be back on Wednesday for another watch along. For another cheeky watch along. That one of AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night, followed by the SmackDown show that Brock Lesnar has just said he will be there, saying he'll see Roman Reigns there. I'll be here as well for that, followed by AEW Rampage as well, doing a watch along for those. So there's a lot going on. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.